We are Brightside Home Theater. Happy holidays, home theater nerds. We're back after a little bit of a vacation. Myself, DJ, sitting next to me on the bus bench is Steve, and next to him is my buddy John, way down in Texas. We're covering the globe.
We are.
This is the podcast that is dedicated to the experiences, the sights,
The sounds.
The scenes?
There we go.
All right.
Oh, I just noticed your chair. I didn't even see that, Steve.
Oh, yeah.
You got the garland on the chair. You got the glasses going.
There you go. Happy holidays. I've been out buying Christmas tat. I can only apologize.
Christmas hat? That's a new one.
Yeah.
Christmas hat.
Just cheap rubbish, just crap.
Oh,
Obviously, there's a little bit cut off behind me. I've got a little lit up tree on the desk behind me. I don't think. Can you see that? I don't know if you can.
Yeah.
You can see the light, a little bit of the light.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I could see the tree. I could see the edge of the tree. It looks nice. I was going to decorate behind me, but I didn't have time. Got home from work a little too late. But it will be done up for the actual. Yeah. I mean, as we're recording this, it's not yet December, but when this comes out, it will be December 2nd. I'll be knee deep in my daughter's wedding by then. Which is on the 2nd. So, she got your card, John. Thank you very much.
No problem.
She got the card. Just today, as a matter of fact, just as I walked in the door. How's your week been, everybody? We've been gone for a while. Missed yous.
Yeah. Fantastic.
Yeah, no, it's been good. It really does feel like a long time since we last did this. It's weird. I haven't missed a week since you invited me onto the podcast in the end of the summer. So it did feel a bit weird. Last Tuesday night, I was sort of twiddling my thumbs thinking, something's not right. And then I sort of realized what it was. So yeah, it feels like a long time. But not good to be back. Good to be back. And how are you feeling?
I am feeling great. I like I said to you guys, I recorded the Thanksgiving podcast, and that went over well, and then edited it the next morning, and that took me many hours, and I was fine. No symptoms, no nothing. So then the protocol after that is to wait a week, which it's now, and I'm good. I skated last night. My head's fine. Doing well. So thank you very much. Thank you to everybody that wrote in and take care. And people like, where were you today? Because they hadn't heard. And all I did is send them the link of my 8-minute, sorry, I'm not going to be around. And then they were like, oh my God, sorry. So
he recorded a video to tell everybody he can't record any more videos.
But that's the funny thing is it wasn't so much that I couldn't, it was the length. Right? Like, we're building a house and stuff, and I'm in the middle, and I was like, I had to do, not in the middle of building a house, but we're in the process of everything, right? And I'm like, I need a spreadsheet so I know how to plan this. And I go downstairs, I come up like an hour and a half later, and Jen goes, you just sat in front of me. I know. I'm like, but I tried to take as much time off as I could, and I did. And, but yeah, the people telling me, thanking me or for what we've done, because now they miss us. And we'll get to that in a minute with donations and stuff, because I'm like, it's a bad sign here. But yeah, it's everybody saying, get well and take care of yourself and all of that. It's kind of humbling when something like this happens. It's stupid. It was a stupid little thing. Like I said, I never would have known I had it. And I didn't want the attention. I tried to keep it, and it slipped out. And I think it was in the stream afterwards, right? You guys knew, but yes, thank you to everybody that wrote in and recommended I see a doctor. After I saw a doctor, and everybody. Oh, it's crazy. So thank you to everybody. But new quick little feature. Let's go down the bus bench here and tell everybody what we've got in store this week. I'll go last, as a matter of fact. Steve, you said you have quite a list. What movies and what have you watched since the last time we spoke? And what are we going to be talking about today?
It's easier just to say what I haven't watched. No, I'm
Midway,
going to go through this quick. Yeah,
Fifth Element.
clearly. Yeah, absolutely. Those are just a given. Those are always ones I've not watched. Okay, so I've got 10. But I'll go through them quick. So I've got I Know What You Did Last Summer 4K, Happy Death Day 1 and 2 in 4K, perfect holiday viewing. Spirited on Apple TV Plus, The Matrix Resurrections in 4K, Halo, the TV series, finally finished that. Lawrence of Arabia in 4K, The Grey on Blu-ray, Nope in 4K, and then lastly, the Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special on Disney Plus.
Nice. John, what do we got to look forward to from you? And I know you. This is everybody. Kick back, put your feet up. There's going to be a bit.
It's smaller than Steve's list.
I'm just kidding.
I don't know what you're.
I'm just kidding.
I had some time off. What can I say?
We all did. Yeah.
So I have Smile, 4K. Where the Crawdads Sing, 4K. 1899, Echo 3, and Wednesday.
Nice.
I also watched the Guardians Holiday Special, but
yeah, those Where the Crawdads is on Netflix.
Yeah, Netflix, Smile,
on
Paramount
Netflix,
Plus.
Yeah.
Yep. 1899 is a series on Netflix. Echo 3 is a series on Apple TV. Wednesday series on Netflix.
All right. I too I have episode 1 of Echo 3, so I can chime in on that. I've watched this week Everything Everywhere All at Once. I watched that a couple weeks ago. Black Adam on Kaleidescape. Hawkeye episodes 1 and 2. I'm going back through that. It's an excellent series. Home Alone on Disney Plus. Yeah,
You kept that quiet. You kept that quiet.
Yes, I did.
See, I saw it on the notes a week ago, so I've been waiting with bated breath. You need to share Steven on this document.
I know. Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special on Disney Plus, 4K and Atmos. Christmas Vacation on Kaleidescape. Spirited Apple TV Plus, 4K and Atmos. And another holiday special I'd like to, that I'm going to start as a tradition, Demolition Man.
I'm curious to see how this is a holiday.
It is. Yeah, not at all. It came up, but we'll get to that. But these, quite the list we've got to get to this week, guys.
Yeah.
Quite, really good list. Very excited for that. All right. I said a little bit, a few minutes ago, we took a couple of weeks off. I got injured and the donations poured in.
Yeah.
What the hell? I'm like, I gotta go hit my head against the wall a few more times.
Just in case he doesn't survive, let's get these donations in now.
I know. This isn't good. It's like, guys, I don't know if it's my injury or the fact we went away, but they're like, if we give them money, maybe they'll stay away. So we got,
lure us back.
Yeah, we got 3 donations this week, which actually puts us over the top because our first donation came in from David Guzman for $20. Went onto the website and bought us a box of popcorn. That's the large box because he got to pick his amount. So I'm like, I was psyched when we got that. And then John, who was the second one?
We have Andrew Joyner, also $20. Big box of popcorn.
And the last one, Steve?
Gorinda, also $20. Now, I'm not sure what that is in pounds, but $20.
$20, yeah. So,
$21.78.
Yeah. What was funny is Andrews came in the middle of last week, I think, and I was like, oh my God. I said to my wife, I'm like, we're close. We're close to going over 200. And I was thinking of tweeting something out, and then a couple days later, I think it was the day after Thanksgiving, Gurinders came in for $20, and that's when I tweeted out. I was like, oh my God. And I had said to Gurinder, I'm like, thank you. I mean, he's the actual one that put us over the top, but it's everybody putting it together because Patreon, we've been standing pat now at $147, and it's 26 patrons at $147. I'll just go through. And the patron of the week this week, we haven't done it in a couple weeks, but it's Paul Vanderwall. So thank you, Paul. He's been a patron for 4 months.
Awesome.
But that $147 that we get every month from Patreon, and now add that $60, it puts us at $207. So that means I'll round up. That means $104 is going to be going. That's the first time we've given over $100.
Right.
And it doesn't seem like a lot, but it does to me because, when John and I started saying this, we were at $50 a month. That's how much we were bringing in. And I was adding on to give us the 100. It only took us a couple of weeks to get to 100. People stepped up and doubled their thing. But I'm pretty psyched. I'm like, thank you very much to David, Andrew, and Gurinder for stepping up like that. I hope it's not because I hit my head, but hey, whatever it takes, boys, right? Whatever it takes.
No.
We're running into the walls.
Guys, the people have spoken. I go away and they give money. I don't know.
Right.
I've been here consistently for 3 years. I've been sitting at this microphone at least once a week and I get minimal money. I step away for a week and the money flows in.
Let's see what happens if we go for 2 weeks.
I know. We're going to retire. John, this is like you and your store.
I know, right? It's like, it's always better when I'm not there.
John goes on vacation or takes a day off and the store has great sales. He's like, why doesn't that happen when I'm here?
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah. The universe is trying to tell you something.
I know. I should take more time off.
Exactly. I'm like,
I already work part-time as it is, but
it was like, thought it'd be fun to sit down and talk home theater, but if people tell me going to go back into my theater and just watch movies and leave them alone, pay me and I'll do it. Sounds fantastic to me.
Whilst we're talking about Gurinder, just very quickly, he emailed me in the week using the Brightside Home Theatre email address, and just to say hello, and we email back and forth, and just to touch base. He's a really nice guy.
Yeah, he is.
So I just give him a quick shout out as well.
Oh, nice.
It was very cool.
Yeah, it's and John's email is working now. Speaking of emails, you can reach each of us. I'm DJ at brightsidehometheater.com, Steve at brightsidehometheater.com, and John at brightsidehometheater.com. And I kind of don't want to do this, but I think I kind of have to. The comments are coming in, and we're getting tons of them. We'll get to them in a minute, right after John has a tweak this week, actually, too. But I think all the comments are going to have to start coming, unless something really jumps out at me. It's going to have to come through the email. Because it's just getting too hard, as you guys know. It's too hard to organize from all of these different sites and stuff. And, between Twitter and now, I mean, people are going to other ones. We are on Mastodon, and I am on that, what is it, Wink or Blink or
Hive?
Hive, there you go.
We have Hive,
yeah. Whatever it is, I don't know. But it's, So I think email is the best one. We got, YouTube isn't bad, but it's just hard to import them and remember where they all are. So I'll try to use that. But any comments, any experiences? That's what we're talking about here. So any experiences would be great. Just email them to any of us, and we'll, you guys, if you get one, and we'll just add it into the link to the experiences of the week. Donation for this month. Ryan Davey at Arvon D on Twitter. We'll be donating our $104 to him probably by the end of this. Well, by the time you hear this, it will have been done. He's cranking out. He's surpassed his goal for last year. His goal, I think, for this year was like 2,500, and last I saw it was like 3,500. So he was way over. So doing very well. But we'll be adding a little bit to that as well. So, all right. You ready to get to what first up is tweaks of the week, right?
Yeah.
All right. Let's get to tweaks of the week. All right, John. This is a good one. I like this.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's nothing major, but I made some tweaks to the picture settings on my projector. So one of the users on the AVS forums also has an AWOL and posted his picture settings that he's been using. And so I had previously just been using the movie mode preset, which didn't offer a lot of ability to tweak anything. So I went in and I put his settings into the user option on my projector, and then made some tweaks from there based on my room. And I was able to get a pretty good, a big improvement on the black levels and the shadow details that from what I was getting just on the presets.
Nice.
So I went back and stress tested it with, the House of the Dragon infamous beach scene.
Yeah.
And then just switched back and forth between the two modes, and I was able to see a lot more detail than what I was getting previously. And then also with Wednesday, which, we've already teased, I'm going to talk about later. That's Tim Burton production, very black, very dark. And it looked fantastic. So I'm actually very happy with the settings that I have right now. Still looking forward to, at some point, getting a professional calibration done and getting the Dolby Vision update in here. But I'm pretty happy with where it's sitting right now. So, that was my tweak for this week.
Nice. One of the things I liked about this is that this is one of those things like your black levels and stuff and everything. It's like, you don't know that you bought your projector. You got it, what, February? March?
March.
Yeah. And you've had it now for almost a year and you're growing into it. And it's one of those things where you start to notice like, can I improve this, that, or the other? Because when you first get it, you're like, 123 inches. This is awesome.
Right.
Right. And then.
Well, and nothing exposed it until House of the Dragon, which was fairly recently. So for 6-7 months, I was very happy with everything I was getting.
Right.
And then House of the Dragon is what kind of spiraled me into the Lumagen talks and all that stuff. And, but yeah, I just stumbled across this guy with his settings and, figured I'd just see what they took me. And like I said, I made some different tweaks from there, because everybody's room is different. But, I was pretty happy with what I was able to get. So,
yeah. And that's the fun way to do it. When you do it on your own, you progress into it and you're looking to solve an issue instead of somebody going, you need to do this. And then you're like, I don't know why. I don't see a problem. House of the Dragon, though, I got another stress test for you. It's one of my favorite stress tests now. And it's that scene at the end of in episode 10 when he goes, what's his name, goes in to see his dragon.
Damon, yeah.
Yeah, Damon goes in the hallway that he goes down. That is equal to Foundation. And I could send you some, the timestamp on the House of the Dragon one. It's episode 10, I think it's at the 42-minute mark. And he goes in, and then when that dragon comes out and is breathing fire all around that cave area, it's just awesome. There's that one, and then I'll send you also the one, the Foundation one scene that I use too, where it looks like a hallway in the background, but the first time I watched it without my Lumagen, I was like...
It just looked like black.
Yeah, it was just black. It was a black with an opening. Like, you could see it was a hallway, but it just looked like a doorway. And then when I got that's the one that actually got me emotional. And I was like, oh my God, because there were like scalloped lines going down the hallway that I never saw before.
Yeah, I'll check. I'm sure there's still further improvements that can be made, but I'm happy with I'm happy with the progress.
That's awesome.
Today, and we'll see. I texted you earlier in the week that they're beta testing an enhanced black level feature. They're supposed to double the contrast ratio on the projector, and that's supposed to come sometime in December. So looking forward to that and seeing what kind of improvements that makes as well. But I'm really just happy that they're continuing to make tweaks and improvements on this thing that's already at market. So we'll see.
Cool. And I am still actively working on that Lumagen thing for you.
Well, yeah, and again, that's still definitely in the cards. But for now, I'll see what I can do on my own.
Yep. Yep.
So.
All right. We ready to get to our listeners of the week and our new vamped way of doing things around here?
Sure. We'll give it a try.
All right. All right. Let's see. First up, listener experiences. We have Paul commenting on Wakanda Forever podcast. Paul says, I'm with you, Steve. The Fifth Element is on my never to watch again list.
So Paul's a man after my own heart.
Right.
Yes, he is. Now, you have seen it, Steve, or did you not?
Yeah.
See it?
Yeah. No. I
Okay.
saw it in the cinema on its release, and that was enough. I hated it. And just well, I said to you the last time, Wakanda Forever. I felt every minute. The Fifth Element felt like just purgatory.
Really?
And I now have PTSD. I cannot watch that film again. I just can't. Did you see the thing this week on Twitter? There's some new extra ultra special edition. Dan Carpenter tweeted earlier, being cheeky. He's trying to go fund a copy for me. I've told him no, because I'm not going to burn it on YouTube.
Right. It's so funny. It's like, that's what I should have used. It's so great because it's like, there's all things that we don't like, right? And it's just, you don't like it, and that's fine. We had a conversation on Twitter this week about Wakanda Forever, as a matter of fact, and some people like it and some people don't. I happen to really like it, as we talked about a couple weeks ago. And but it was like in the Thanksgiving podcast. I don't know if you guys heard it, but I was talking. Lee is like, he just wants everybody to love home theater, and I love that about him. We all do. We wish everybody loved it, because then it would spawn more stuff. But one of the things he said, he goes, I just want to get more people involved. I just want to, like, family members. And I said to him, and I still remember, like, I'm looking at the screen. I felt like the Brady Bunch, like I was looking down at him on the screen. And I'm like, Lee, I feel bad. I'm like, because it's such a hard thing to do, to get somebody to like something they have, like, no interest in. Right?
Yeah.
And movies are a great example of that. It's like, we could send you copy after copy of The Fifth Element, and it's like, you don't like it. You don't like it. You know, and it's just,
no special edition is going to change your mind and make it better.
And
not unless it's so special it's a different film.
Right. And it's like, I think a lot of people think, like, just because, like, other people don't like it, I mean, like, they're wrong. I'm like, no, you're allowed to like it. You're allowed to like it. I'm like, look, the three of us sitting here on this bus bench right now, we all have different home theaters, right?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
None of them are wrong, and we all love them, and we all have different tastes in movies. And it's like, I mean, Steve, bringing up the horror left and right, even during the holidays. Although John's got a horror on his list.
Well, yeah, I've got mine.
Yeah, you got yours. So, but yeah,
it's never the wrong time of year for a horror film,
right? Well,
I'm
you both
starting
have
to dread
Spirited.
October.
You both have Spirited on your list, and for me, it's way too early to watch that. So, like, I won't watch that for like 2 weeks. So,
yeah.
Well, at least you'll get to it. I'll be happy.
It's saved on my Apple TV, but
We'll
I'm
get
just
to that.
not going to watch it till
I
mid-December.
can't wait to get to it today, and I can't wait
So.
to get to it back when you in the future.
Right.
Future DJ can't wait to talk
Future
to you
DJ.
about it. Yeah. So, all right.
But so Fifth Element, no.
Nope. All right.
No, wild horses.
Why don't we go down the park bench here, and Steve, why don't you take the next one?
So this is from Blue Wave. Is that the one?
Yep.
So Blue Waves, I think this looks to be a YouTube comment by the looks of it. I think it is.
Yeah, from
says
Wakanda Forever. Yep.
Yeah. So it says, DJ, for your yearly top 10, I strongly suggest 2 top 10s. The top 10 streaming experiences and the top 10 disc experiences. And there's a good amount of content that you cannot get on disc right now. And the big plus is we get more content from you guys. So more content.
Yeah. Okay. All right. That's one vote. One vote for more content, and we have $60 saying less content.
Less content.
It's close. It's getting close. Thanks, Blue Wave. That's it. It's a tough one because that's what it's so. Every year, I can't wait to sit down with Ralph and Jeff this year because we do our top 10, and I love battling with them every year about streaming. And for the last 2-3 years, I've been harping on streaming. The problem is, though, to do 10 of each is, one, that's a lot.
Takes a long time.
It takes a long time. And 2, I don't know, guys, do you think there's 10 home theater streaming experiences? There might be.
You can
this
find
year.
them.
You can
find them, but they're not always going to be
right.
Yeah.
top. Not like they're not always going to be Stranger Things or whatever. But,
Right.
I mean, you're going to stream 50 shows a year.
Right.
It's just so you can tack 10 onto any list, but
Right.
at some point you might be reaching just to fill out a list, as opposed to really legitimately thinking they're top 10.
Yeah. See, I did.
I mean, there's been some great stuff. There's no getting away from it. There has been, but I think, and the problem is with your physical collections, it's easier to look back and see what you've watched. I think with streaming, it's quite hard, isn't it? Because as far as I know, Netflix and Apple TV don't keep a list of what you've watched, or they might have it internally, but you can't look back and go, oh yeah, I saw that, I saw this. Whereas with the apps, and I suspect with Kaleidescape, you can look back, oh look, I got this on this date, I saw that on that date. So it's tricky with streaming, but I'm sure you could find 10, but it would be difficult.
The other thing with streaming to me is like when I think of like a home theater experience, I'm thinking of like I know last year I picked Foundation because that was just such a monumental event to me in the year, because a lot like what House of the Dragon did this year, like for John, it pushed him. It pushed his theater. It pushed his equipment. It did that, and House of the Dragon did it this year for a lot of people, right? And, whether you were angry about it because it looked like crap, but yet they're pushing the envelope and you see how that worked out, right? Like John's trying to improve his tech because of the art. And that to me, that's an event. That's a streaming experience. And that's what, Foundation did for me last year. Movies are a little bit more quicker, self-contained, because they're like 2.5 hours, and you can get a long, 8-episode series. It's like, it's hard to be a great home theater experience when it's that long. There might be a few great home theater experiences along the way, but as a whole, it's tougher. But there were some movies this year, features this year. Adam Project that was earlier in the year. And
All Quiet on the Western Front.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
Well, and even we keep talking about, Stranger Things 4 was this year.
Right, but that's a series. Yes, that was an amazing home Atmos experience.
Rings of Power?
Rings of Power,
So here we go. We're nearly halfway there already.
Exactly. But now to rank them, and the other thing is, if we separate it, then you're not giving the credit to the ones that actually break in with physical media. And that's what I really like about it, is like when you do your top 10 home theater experiences, the top 10 things that jump to my mind from 2022, and you're going to get some streaming sprinkled in with physical media.
Maverick.
Who are we kidding? We know what your top 10 is.
Maverick on iTunes, Maverick on Vudu. Maverick on Disc, Kaleidescape.
Maverick novelization, Maverick comic.
You can get 5 or 6 just with Maverick.
Yeah.
The top 10
rounded out with Bloodshot
breakdowns
at
of
the end.
Maverick. Oh, God. It's so funny.
You can't fool us, DJ. We know you too well.
I know. All right, John. Next one.
Okay, next one comes from Basil. I'm not sure where this came through.
Email.
Okay. It says, "Hey DJ, love your show. Listen all the time on YouTube. Was wondering which Kaleidescape system you got. How large is the hard drive? Going to pick one up at Best Buy, largely because of your endorsement. By the way, love that you added John and Steve. Makes the show even better. I will keep listening/watching. Basil."
Nice. Yeah. I answered. I think I replied to him my answer. But yeah, for everybody, I have Kaleidescape Strato C combined with a Terra 12, compact Terra 12. So, and it is full. And have you seen John Brock? He's got a 6, and he is filling up fast.
I think he's already done with it, right?
He might be halfway. He might be full by now, because day one he downloaded 47 movies, and
I saw that
6 can only hold 100. So I'm like, I don't know if he upgraded from the 6 yet. Last I talked to him, which was like a couple months ago, we haven't really talked his system yet. But yeah, that would be they fill up fast because it's just so simple. But yeah, Basil, thank you. That's largely because of my endorsement. Scary. This isn't a cheap purchase. I hope he likes it.
Nobody that has it dislikes it. It's just the financial aspect.
Right.
I was surprised to find that Best Buy are selling them. Is it that freely available over there? Is it?
Yeah,
It is in Best Buy. Yeah.
Okay. The equivalent here, if you walked into the equivalent store here and said Kaleidescape, they'd think you meant a kaleidoscope and would sort of send you back to a museum. Right. You know, they would never have even heard of it, let alone stock it.
I don't think they go above the 12 terabyte. I think they have the 6 and the 12 options.
Do they? I haven't. Yeah,
I haven't seen anything bigger than that on their site.
One of my now buddies was started as a listener. Nelson lives near me now. Was in Jersey at the time, and because of pandemic, he couldn't work his normal job. So he got a job at Best Buy during the holidays, and you get a 50% discount. So he bought himself a Kaleidescape.
There you go.
So made some money.
I know what I need for a part-time job this Christmas.
Exactly. Just walk in.
I got time.
Job.
Just walk in, work a week, buy a Kaleidescape,
get my Kaleidescape,
walk out,
and quit.
I mean, if you
see
think
ya, brother,
50% off, that would be the most money you can make in a week.
Exactly.
If you take 50, if you consider that part of the pay.
Look how much money I saved you, babe.
Right, exactly. Here's what it would cost me at full price.
Right.
Walk in, work a few days, and walk out.
Maybe it's the business acumen in me. I'm thinking you buy 10 and sell them at 75%.
That's what I'm thinking too, yeah.
See, I don't like money. I'm just going to hit my head.
See, you don't, but yeah, I've thought of that too. It's like,
see, that's the difference between us, Steve.
Yeah.
You're smart. You just made way more money. I'm thinking I'm hitting my head against the wall. I'm going to make another $60. Woo!
You might have to work there for 2 wees to pull that off.
Yeah.
They might see through that.
Right. Yeah, we're suddenly selling lots of Kaleidescapes. What's going on?
Yeah. That's good. Good stuff. All right. Tweet from Johnny Speakers. It says, finally tried out the demo trailer option on my Zapiti. Pretty cool. So for people that aren't in the know on the Zapiti is a hard drive system similar to Plex, and they added a demo trailer, and you can add any demo you want to the openings of your movies. He was toying around with it and having a lot of fun with it, and that's I think he's watching the stream right now. But yeah, he had a lot of fun with it, and it's one of those like tweaker's dreams, right? Where you just get to play with it. And now I'm wondering, like, I was, this is stuff that I wanted to do and did a long time ago and did all these stuff. But now, like, does it die out? Does it, or do you make this nice trailer for the beginning of the movie, right? And you do all the work, and all of a sudden be like, now you start your movie and here comes a trailer and you're like, oh, for the love of God.
Yeah, like we talked about that before. I think you only want to see it like once or twice.
Yeah, but
then you just don't want it anymore.
But it's different if you made the trailer yourself and you edited it, and I could just totally picture myself doing that, and like a month later being like, there's 12 hours of my life I'll never get back, but now I got to watch it in front of how do I disable this?
Is that what he meant, though? Because I thought he was talking about the Dolby trailers and the DTS trailers and that sort of stuff.
You can add those
so they're
too.
Quite short, aren't they?
Yeah, you can do that. You can take those and put those in front, which is fantastic. But even that, it's like, just if you can just, because that's the other thing on the Zapiti is you can just have it just go right to the movie. Right? Instead, there's nothing, no FBI, no nothing. It just goes right to the movie. And so you're like, you hit play and it just starts the movie. And now you're adding in delay.
More stuff, right.
Right? And then I was saying, like, I always wanted to have welcome to the Briggs Home Theater. And all this stuff come in. And now you're like, oh yeah, this is great. Now I've just done this to myself. But that's what I would do. I mean, you've seen my 3-ring binder.
Yeah.
Are we happy? I'm not sure if John's going to be happy with us referring to him as a tweaker, though. I think perhaps I've seen too many cop shows to know if calling someone a tweaker is just asking for trouble.
I didn't even know that was a problem. Is it a problem? We're tweakers. I don't know. Is that a derogatory term?
You've not seen enough cop shows.
Yeah, it can be, but
I guess.
Depends on the context.
Yeah. All right. Next up, what do we got? Steve, what do you got the next one?
Okay, so this one's come from Gorinda. I'm assuming this is an email then.
Yep.
So it says, I think Lee should guest host a few times on your show so he can finally get a podcast email address. Hey, those are very special things. I don't think we should be just handing them out willy-nilly. Yeah, come on. We know it will be another 10 years before he's eligible for an AV Rant email address. Have a good one from Gorinda.
Yeah. So you have no idea what it took me not to give him one, because he's been on AV Rant for years and years, right? He might be actually coming up on 10 years of guest hosting on AV Rant. And I mean, he's a great guy, and he's so much fun. And when he was on the other day, I knew Tom just keeps busting on him, and I think he just won't give him one just because it's funny, right?
Right.
I didn't want to step on any toes, but I was so close to just saying and be like, here you go, Lee. Like on that podcast, and be like, because I could just but they cost money.
Yeah, you do have to pay for them.
Yeah, you got to pay for them, but it kind of would have been worth it just to go right up against Tom. But we were already, like, Tom and I joked at the beginning of that, like, and some people started to think we were getting like too contentious, and it was just joking. And I was like, oh, okay, let's stop. So I didn't even want to go there. So, but yeah, it would be funny to give him it's a Lee at Brightside Home Theater. But yes, they are special. He has been on the show a few times too. So, all right. Next up, John.
Okay. I think this comes from YouTube. This is from the day after tomorrow. Does this deserve a 4K upgrade? Yeah. This comment comes from Jusimir Passold. I hope there is a 4K remaster of this movie someday. So
yeah. So we did. Yeah, we did. I did this show a while ago, and it's only on Blu-ray. And yeah, a lot of people are hoping. I thought this was pretty cool. That's what's nice is I get the notifications. If I had to go through YouTube and see where the comments drop, at least I get the notification. But yeah, it would be nice to get. This is one that I think I heard mentioned because of the whole Disney situation right now. And Iger's back?
Yeah, Iger's back.
Yeah.
And I heard I read an article. Bill Hunt wrote an article. Saying like, let's get some stuff going now that he's back. Let's get their home, media going. And this was one of the movies that was mentioned. I didn't even know that Disney owned this one. Maybe Fox does or something. And because of the acquisition, is that what it is?
Right. Maybe.
Yeah. Can I show off a minute?
Sure.
Over here in Disney Plus, it's in 4K.
Awesome.
That means it exists.
That's what I was just looking at. Yeah. It's an HDR10. Yeah, only 5.1 audio though, by the looks of it.
Yeah.
Double check. Yeah, so only 5.1 audio, but it is Ultra HD HDR10.
Yeah.
Look at that. See, we're cooler.
Yeah, you are. But that means it exists. So
yeah. So they've got one. Yeah.
It exists, and I think we talked about this back when it came out too. When I did this podcast, because I checked Disney Plus over here, and we had a comment. We had a bunch of comments from around the world. People were like, I got it in 4K. I don't, and whatever. But so it does exist. I'm pretty sure the last I checked, it's still not in 4K on Kaleidescape either.
If those listening to this are around the world, and if they're interested in it, that Bill Hunt article that you were talking about on the Digital Bits website, he lists in there a number of European 4K discs, 4K transfers on Disney Plus that aren't available on disc. So anyone listening that's curious, I know I was, and there were a number of them on there that I didn't realize. So that's worth looking at, because there's about 10 or 15 on there that are not, things like Kingdom of Heaven, although only the theatrical cut, which is a shame. And but films like that, Die Hard 2, those sort of Aliens, he said in that article, but that's not on the English site, not on the English Disney Plus. So I did look straight away for that. So worth looking at that article, because as I say, there are a number of them on there if you're on this side of the pond or further afield.
Yeah, that was a great article. So, but yeah, it's. That Die Hard 2, I know, is on Kaleidescape, because I had that mentioned to me by Brett Bjorkquist when he was on last December, and I was saying, I'm doing Die Hard 2 as a Christmas movie. I go, it's not in 4K. And he goes, it is on Kaleidescape. And I didn't have it at the time. I'm like, all right.
Have you had a chance to look at that yet?
Die Hard 2?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I actually...
And what's it like? Because it's quite a murky, muddy film. I think that'd be quite hard to...
It looked good.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah, it brightens it up. I am Die Hard 2 on Kaleidescape. I'm pretty sure... Did I break that down? From Kaleidescape? But I did look at it. I haven't even bought Die Hard yet. I can't wait. I've been waiting for December to buy it. Because I'm like, I knew I didn't want to watch it. I wanted to wait for December to watch it. And I knew if I bought it early, one, it would take up space on my hard drive. And two, I'd watch it. And I'm saving it for can't wait.
That's that particular side of me again. I could not buy the sequel to something without buying the original. I just couldn't do it. Even if I hated the original, I could not buy a second and not have the first.
Right. Well, I own it in so many other formats anyways, right? All of them in it. Speaking of which, on YouTube, if you look around the screen here in the top left corner, there's a whole package of movies there. And then in the bottom is, I'm thinking that's an ornament from Christmas Vacation. And then the bottom right corner, right under John, where he's sitting right now, is the Die Hard ornament. Because, one of his favorite Christmas movies.
Yeah, my favorite Christmas movie.
Yeah. And above John is an ornament from Elf. So going around
please
the YouTube
tell me,
screen.
Please tell me there's one underneath you, DJ, from Home Alone.
Not yet. I do have that one. I haven't hung it up on the screen yet. I do have that one. But we'll get to Home Alone. Who went last, John? You went last?
No, you're up.
Yeah,
I'm up.
your turn.
Okay.
Yep.
Thankful everywhere all at once. Mike Schramm chiming in. Happy Thanksgiving, Brightside family. And also, I'd like to say, I won't read it, but he sent a really nice message to me on DM me on Thanksgiving, and a bunch of people did. He just comes up on here because of this one, but I just jumped in my head. Thank you to everybody that reached out on Thanksgiving to us, to Brightside, and Home Theater family. It was really, really cool. And spent a lot of day on my phone because people, like, one, checking in on me, and two, saying happy Thanksgiving and making sure, just saying, being thankful for the Brightside Home Theater family. So thank you to everybody that reached out. And everybody's like, what are you doing? I'm like, people.
Avoiding family.
Yeah, well, that helped too. It's like, that was my family. It's like, So that was really cool. Thank you. All right, Steve.
Okay. The next one I can't is a tweet, and I can't see who it's from though. So I don't want to miss that. If you can have a look for that, so we can give them their due, and I'll read it out while you're looking, DJ, if that's all right.
Yep.
So at Brightside HT, what a blind buy. Let me put some emphasis on this. What a blind buy. It's like a combo of 300 and Braveheart, and the ever rare DTSX soundtrack roars through the whole movie. Bravo, Universal, bravo. Now, you might wonder what film he's talking about, he or she. It's Dracula Untold.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, I've never seen this.
Really?
So I can't. Yeah. It's Luke Evans, isn't it?
Yeah.
Who's great. But I'd heard not good things about this film, so I sort of skipped it.
As a home theater experience, I'm pretty sure, I'm looking it up right now, but I'm pretty sure that was WV.
Okay, cool. Yeah, no, it's not come up on my screen. It's my fault, I'm sure.
No.
I don't have it.
No,
either.
It's just a screen grab,
Okay.
and it just had it had the
Okay.
thing on it.
Yeah.
Let me see.
So home theater experience, it's really good. So okay.
Yeah, it's WV. WV sent that one out. But yes, as a home theater experience, it really is, and that's what's fun about some of these movies is that, Steve, they can be enhanced by our home theaters, right?
Do tell. Surely not.
I am telling.
A great movie, DJ. A great movie is a great movie regardless of the delivery system. Thanks, John.
You're welcome. We're here to prop each other up.
I know. I'm like, what am I doing here?
It's going to run and run and run, that, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, man. That's great. But yeah, no, it is. And it's, I haven't seen that one in a while, but I did like it. And I like Luke Evans too. We're going to talk about him.
Yeah, he's great. He's great.
Yeah, he's great.
While we're talking him, then before I forget, then have you seen Nobody Lives? Have you ever seen that? Now, if you want a schlock horror film, is it a horror? Maybe a thriller. Yeah. But he is in that. He is the hero of that film, but he's no hero. Now, that one is, if you haven't seen it, you pick it up, watch it cheap. Nobody Lives, it's called, and it's a really unusual movie.
So just because we're talking Luke Evans, is that is the title giving the whole movie away, or?
Well, it kind of, but not for the reasons you might think.
Oh, okay.
It's a really, really fun, unusual, off the wall movie. You get it there. I imported it ages ago. I've got it on Blu-ray, and it's bonkers.
Yeah.
So that one is worth seeing, guys. If you get to, again, anyone listening to this, I'm sure there are those that will have seen it. But he's the lead in that. It was one of his first lead performances, and it's really good. Oh, so cool. Yeah, he is great. I mean, he's great as Bard the Bowman. He's great in the Hobbit films. He's good in just about. Even he's good as in Beauty and the Beast, the live action one. I think he's very good in that. But Dracula Untold, I haven't seen it. Have you seen that, John?
I have seen it long time ago. Not in a home theater experience environment though, so I can't speak to that. I like you, I didn't find the movie fantastic, but again, I have no reference with the home theater experience of it.
WV is a lot like me. He loves the home theater experience above and beyond like the movie itself. He loves movies too, obviously, but yeah. All right, John, the next one, and the answer underneath is what my comments that I made just for reference.
So am I reading that, or
no? You don't have to read that. Just read Justin.
Okay, so so from Justin Van Camp, have a question for you guys. So right now, all my speakers are from Polk Audio, except my Atmos modules. Those are Sony. Does the brand of speakers affect the sound quality or no? And then. This was a Twitter thread rather that I guess went on for a while.
Yeah, and the reason I grabbed this is what I loved about it is you see Mark's answer right there, and he's like he actually wrote like on wrote in notes, screen grabbed it, and then pasted that because he didn't have enough space. But he goes, like he said, sorry, I went too deep here, but maybe, but it was great. Everybody's response, what I liked about it and what I like about our particular home theater community is that everybody was like, yeah, it can make a difference, but everybody was very respectful of like, if you don't hear a problem, don't worry about it, and that was the prevailing response. It's like they all gave like, if you want to upgrade, here's some ideas, and this is what can. I mean, Mike Schramm chimed in. I think Omar chimed in. Mark chimed in. All these people chimed in, and everybody had like what I thought was so much different than a lot of other forums. And this was on Twitter, but all the other forums are like, "Oh, you need to do this." It's like you don't need to do anything, right? And that's what I thought was really cool. And just seeing, we weren't even. we were kind of tagged because only people in his Twitter circle can see it, right?
Right.
So that's us. That's our home theater family. Justin considers us. He included us. We're in it, and we watched it. And I thought it was fantastic. It's, very respectful, very, helpful. But at the same time, you don't have to do anything. If you don't hear a problem, and I thought that was really cool. Let's see. Next one, commenting on Everything Everywhere All at Once Thanksgiving podcast, Blue Wave again says, I'm hoping to hell that Arcane comes out on physical disc because it's awesome. The AV presentation on that show is freaking incredible. So, I gotta check this out. Rob,
it's reference level. It's really, really good.
You've seen it?
Oh yeah, I watched it when it 6 months ago or so, whenever it came out.
So was that before you were on here full time?
Maybe but I'm sure I brought it up on chat. It's based on the League of Legends video game series.
Oh, okay.
But you don't have to have, I've never played League of Legends. You don't have to have any knowledge of that at all to watch this. But it's fantastic. So.
Yeah, Rob talked about it in the Thanksgiving podcast, but he talked more about the writing, and he said it's just really well done.
Well, that too.
Yeah. And
it's
I was like, and then Blue Wave was talking about the home theater, and that's what really got me. I'm like, I was like, oh, okay, that's cool. I'm like, so I'll check that out.
Where is it, guys? Where can you find it? I've never heard of it.
We have it
It's
on Netflix.
Oh, okay.
Yes, it's Netflix. Yeah, and it's animated.
It's animated. Yeah.
Okay.
But it looks fantastic, and the sound is really, really good.
Excellent.
And in great writing, great story. So
cool.
I'm really hoping for a season 2.
How many episodes is it? Do you remember?
8 maybe. I don't remember exactly, but it's probably 8 episodes.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Steve, you're up next.
So this one is from WV Brew. This is a tweet that's come in, taking me back to my youth with 3 Fs. It says, at Brightside HD, Teen Wolf is my favorite sports movie. Just watch MJF, so I'm assuming that's Michael J. Fox, was so good in it. And then, linked through to that. So, good to meet Teen Wolf. I'd forgotten all about that film.
It is so good. I haven't seen that in so long. He's got a comment coming up in a minute too, about some extras on that. But and I sent you the link too, right? I didn't.
Yeah, I watched the little video. Yeah,
the video of the music. This will. Oh yeah, we do have a comment on that, so we'll talk about that then. But all right, why don't we get to the next one there, John? I can't wait to hear this discussion.
Yeah, so this is from WV Brew as well. It says, at Brightside HT, I'd love to hear DJ's opinion. And this is a picture from a Facebook group, UHD 4K, Blu-ray, and 8K collectors. Which is the better movie and why? And you've got Total Recall here and Demolition Man. So...
Steve's shaking his head. I think he's got negative on both.
No, this is not a question. This is not a question.
It's pretty close.
Do you think there's a clear winner?
Yes.
Okay. What's the clear winner?
Yeah.
All day long and twice on Sundays. Total Recall is the better film by a country mile.
And why do you say that?
Well, firstly, it's based on a proper story. So, do androids dream of electric sheep, or whatever it is?
Yeah.
Or they want? Yeah, no, it's not. It's the Philip K. Dick thing. We can remember it for you wholesale. That's the story, isn't it? Sorry, I'm thinking of Blade Runner, aren't I? But that's so. Firstly, it's based on a proper story. It's a Paul Verhoeven film, so anything made by Paul Verhoeven is decent, especially in the 90s. This was my first 18-rated film that I saw in the cinema, so it's got some personal interest for me, and it is by far the better film. Don't get me wrong, I like Demolition Man, but it's not a great film.
What? No. I
Total
agree.
Recall all day long.
Well, before I give you go ahead, John.
I might lean Total Recall as well, but I don't think it's nearly as
clear cut
and dried as you do. I mean, I agree with all the things that you said, but I thought Demolition Man for the time was a great fun film. So,
so that's why I watched it, and we'll talk about it when we get there. But as a movie, when was the last time each of you saw Demolition Man?
Oh, I haven't seen either one in quite a long time.
I saw Demolition Man within the last couple of years. I watched it while I was doing workout in the gym. I had it on the TV there. Watched it over a couple of workouts.
Okay.
It is. Also, by the way, whilst we're talking about my things, Demolition Man is the only of the 2 films to appear on How Did This Get Made? Which I think also probably speaks volumes.
But I think it's watching it now. It was insane. After going through what we've gone through the last couple of years, and then watching Demolition Man, and you see where they are in 2032, and they can't touch hands, right? You can't do all of that stuff, and you're like, oh, this has all been made illegal. And you're like, oh my God. And they made this in 1993, and you're like, oh wow, it's insane, but it's hysterical. So
it is.
For me, it's not as, like John said, it's not as clear cut. I'd have to say that Total Recall is the better movie, but for sheer entertainment value, it's part of the entertainment value of Demolition Man is, like you said, how did this movie get made? It's so corny, but it's fun. Yeah. They lean into it. That the clip we have here that the 3 of us are looking at with Stallone leaning on the wall. That's when he's going to get his toilet paper, right?
Right.
Yeah, the 3 seashells.
Because he can't figure those out. But it's just so much fun. It's just mindless fun. Total Recall, on the other hand, by the end of the movie, you're thinking this is mindless fun, but then you're like, did this really happen? Did it not happen? What happened? So that's fun too. They're both super rewatchable. I can't believe I hadn't seen Demolition Man in so long, and that's why I've seen Total Recall a bunch of times, but it's not as clear cut. But I would also give Total Recall the edge.
Tell me this. So if you watched it recently, answer this question then.
Which one?
So Lieutenant Huxley is Sandra Bullock's character.
Yeah.
Right. Is she John Spartan's daughter?
God, I hope not. I thought the same thing, but then if they ever made a sequel, do we go all Star Wars here?
Yeah. Well, quite.
Because he gave his daughter a really nice kiss at the end.
Yeah.
Well, they did more than that with the VR thing as well, didn't they?
That was all VR. Yeah.
Right. Well.
And I haven't seen this on my big screen and big screen.
Okay.
And that VR was way more graphic than I've ever seen before.
Really?
Oh, yeah. John's I'll be right back.
No, yeah. Let me go see.
DJ, do you have a timestamp on that?
Where can I buy that movie?
But yeah, it is way more graphic. So graphic that I think it's a body double for Sandra Bullock.
Yeah. I don't think it's her.
It's not her.
I don't think it's her.
I mean, the facial expressions are, but I've seen that movie a bunch of times. I own it on Laserdisc. Love that movie. A lot of fun. I've never seen it looking, and we'll get to it, but that good. And that scene in particular, it's like, wow.
The bad guy in that is played by Nigel Hawthorne, who's a very famous British character actor. He's been in lots of really good things here. He passed away a while back, but he's done some really good stuff here in the 70s and the 80s. And he was interviewed once, and in the interview, they asked him what was it like working with Stallone on Demolition Man. And he said, it's interesting you say that. He said, I bumped into him about a year afterwards at some sort of, a dinner. And he said, and I went up to him and said, oh, hi, Sylvester, it's good to see you again. And he said, he just walked straight past me. He didn't remember me. Didn't know who I was. Didn't have a clue. But never mind.
John Brock chimes in with Taco Bell won the franchise wars.
Yeah. Well, and it's funny. I bring that up all the time because we're always talking about Amazon and Apple. Like, there's a rumor now that Apple might be buying Disney. And I always liken it back to Demolition Man because everything became Taco Bell, right? And at some point, everything will either be Apple or Amazon, and there won't be anything else. Yeah. So it will come to pass.
Well, but we haven't got a Schwarzenegger presidential library yet.
Right.
You're taking all my notes for my when we get to it.
Sorry.
No, that's okay. I was going to say the same thing. That's fine. John Brock. It was also John Brock's first rated R movie as well. How old are you people?
I know.
I was like, came out in 93.
Mine was...
my Total Recall was mine. So that 1990. Yeah. Total Recall was 1990. That was my first one.
Oh, what was the name of that? Mine was, it was a movie with Sylvester Stallone and Rutger Hauer. And what was the name of that movie?
Lady Hawk?
Not Lady Hawk. But
I know.
We just talked about it recently, too. But that was my first R-rated movie. I'm going to have to look it up.
Maybe John.
Nighthawks.
I love that movie.
It was close.
And
he had Hawk in there.
Yeah, I know. He had the beard. Stallone had a beard in that one. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a great movie, too.
My first R-rated movie. Yep.
Yeah. The first one I remember, I told you, is Rambo First Blood Part 2. Yep. So
I wasn't, and I still wasn't. It was an 18-rated film. I wasn't old enough to see it. I was 16, but my brother my brother-in-law took me to see it. I looked enough to just about get in and see it. Right. So yeah, it was great. Such a good film.
All right. Who's up next?
I think you are.
Me? All right. Another WV brew. We got a bunch from WV. He says on Shout Factory Collector's Disc, close to 2.5 hour documentary on making of movie covers, absolutely everything and more. Fantastic. And it's on the Teen Wolf disc, I think is what he was talking about on that. So that's pretty cool.
I got retweeted in the last 24 hours by Shout Factory.
Oh, really?
Yeah. On one of their Happy Death Day 2 disc.
Nice.
One for you guys there. You'll love it.
There you go.
We'll get to it.
I know. All right. Steve, you're up with another WV?
Okay. Yeah. So he is, he should be the fourth person on the bus stop. He is. This week he should be there. Yeah. He's whispering in our ears. Okay. So this is from WV Brew, another tweet. So this says, at Brightside HT, this will bring back memories of your favorite 80s movies, a montage of 80s films. Amy Holland, Shooting for the Moon song at the end of Teen Wolf. Beautiful song. Would be a perfect song for a montage at high school graduations. Your YOUR.
Yes.
Welcome.
I knew you were going to do that.
I'm a lawyer. I'm going to pick up grammatical issues.
There, and there.
Yeah.
You're funny. That's. I sent this to you guys. I sent it to my wife. I'm like, it gives you chills watching this, and I knew. Yeah. I think all but I can't say which one I didn't know. There was only one clip in there, and I'm sure it was from a movie that I just didn't. One of the movies that was already in there, but they had everything. They had with the Breakfast Club, Pretty in Pink,
John Hughes special,
16, everything. I mean, there are tons of '80s movies in there, and you were just like, Say Anything. That clip with the boom, you're just like, you're watching this, listening to that song, and you're like, it's like, just reminds being a kid again. Well, for Steve, he was you were 12.
Yeah, tiny.
Yeah,
whippersnapper, just tiny little kid. Yeah. Not as old as you guys.
Yeah. John,
you guys have got more hair. Just say it. Yeah, it's fine.
John, you want to read this next one from G. Cornell?
Yeah, so I guess I'm assuming this was an email.
Yeah.
Says, with the conch on the head, you never know how you will feel. I almost stepped on my dog yesterday walking out of the bathroom. Might have done a DJ. So
I saw that. I was like, G. Cornell and I talk probably daily on emails, right? And I'm like, I had to put this in there because I'm like, not only now do I John Brock things, I Brocked it, but now I'm like, if somebody falls and hits their head, they're going to, now I'm named for that.
It's going to be a DJ, yeah.
I'm like, I'm doing a DJ. I saw that. Might have done a DJ. Like, oh, geez.
Yeah, rumor has it they're changing it in rugby. You see, when someone goes off for an HIA, it's an HIA, head injury assessment. It'll be a DJIA.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, I know. NFL, not concussion protocol. It's the DJ protocol.
Sounds like a Robert Ludlum book. The DJ protocol.
Sideline from podcasting because I hit my head. Yeah, he's a tough bastard.
Yeah.
We can rebuild him. We have the technology.
Right. Oh, God. All right. Next up from Thankful Everywhere All at Once podcast, Vibe Installs says, appreciate the special episode. It's cool to see a united group from both Canada and the U.S. sharing their passion for home theater and AV. Happy Thanksgiving. I'm thankful for finding your podcasts. So thanks, Vibe. It is. I'm so glad we got it in this year. It was on the, it was a question mark for a little bit because of Rob's situation with his apartment being done and Tom, what went on down in Florida. Because we try to plan these things so far in advance so that we can all get together. And unfortunately, because of all those situations, we had to do it last minute and HT guys weren't able to get in on it. But we got a couple of good substitutions in, Andrew and John or Steve, whatever his name was. And, but yeah.
I was unable to join in. I was unable to join in because I didn't want to become nocturnal for the sake of the podcast.
Well, that's the thing. It's like, I mean, I don't know if we expressed that enough or at all in the Thanksgiving podcast, but it's not that John and Steve didn't want to. They didn't turn it down. It's just their schedules because the way we have to do it. It's like John was already busy at the time. Steve was sleeping.
It was like 3 a.m.
Right? In the morning because we're already covering multiple coasts here. It's, Rob's in Vancouver. I'm here. Lee's in the middle as well. I think Lee's central, but we recorded later at night. So it's like, I mean, for all of us to do that, for Steve to even jump in, I knew when I asked you, Steve, I'm like, I knew you weren't going to do it, but I felt I wanted to ask and let you turn it down because I have tweeted at you or seen you tweeting at like 2 a.m. And I'm like, all right.
That's 2 seconds. That's not 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
I'm on my way to the bathroom and I'm going to reply to this tweet.
Let's just check in with Steve.
Right.
Yeah.
What are you thankful for, Steve? More sleep.
And that's Steve. We'll be back in a moment. All right. Steve, you want to read Blue Waves?
Yeah, we'll do so. Another Blue Wave one. So, okay, you're going to make me swear. Was going to email you guys, but I figure I put it here. I just bought the Black Adam from Amazon Prime, and holy SH star T.
Yeah.
That's going to be in the top 10 for 2023, guaranteed. That was the streaming version. Wait until the disc drops. Wow. Yeah, Black Adam. Oh, yes.
Did you see it at home?
I've seen the stream. I've seen a stream.
Oh,
yeah,
nice.
Not in the cinema room. I only watched it in the lounge. But it's way better than I thought it was going to be as a movie. I mean, I can't comment on the home theater side of it because I only watched it in 2 channels stereo. But much better as a film than I thought it was going to be. I was uncertain about it, and yet I thought it was great. I actually really enjoyed it. It's out here first week of January. I'll be picking that up straight away.
Yeah. January 3rd, I think it comes
January
out.
3rd.
Yeah.
So it's a much better film than people give it credit for. Really, really enjoyed it. Yeah, it's great.
I can't wait to tell you guys about it, and when we get to home theater experiences. But John, you want to read? It's that
Am I
time of
reading
year
this?
again. You're reading this one. It's the yearly. This was it'll be 3 years ago now.
Okay.
A little, a man with a dream sat down at a podcast table and said, "You know what? I'm going to talk home theater." And this was his second comment. This was that man's with a dream second comment on Apple iTunes. First one came in, I believe it was Dr. Joe supporting us, and the number 2 comment and a star rating.
And a star rating.
Quite literally a star rating. So take it away, John. This is the man with a dream.
This is from the esteemed Dominic Hendricks over there on iTunes. Gave a 1-star rating with the disclaimer, listen at your own risk. The comment is, this is like listening to paint dry in Dolby Digital. My favorite comment of all time, by the way.
Yes.
I love that comment.
It's so good. It's so good. And I got this and I laughed. And I was like, but at the same time, this was before I met Steve. And had our oh my God, Steve doesn't like Midway. So I'm like, now.
That was comment number 3.
Yeah. So I got this and I was like, oh no. I was like, oh, all right. Well, but what was funny is I showed it to my son too at the time. And he goes, did they not listen to your first one? My first podcast was, hey, this might not be for you. It's like, I get it because a lot of people, most people I talk to, their eyes glaze over. Right? And apparently this guy's out there looking for home theater podcasts and his eyes glazed over. It's like, okay. But yeah, listen
to me, it's a badge of honor. I would.
Well, not only that, he think this, Dominic is, giving me high praise that he even thinks I broadcast this in Dolby Digital.
Right.
See, I think that shows he's uninformed because surely it should be Dolby Atmos. Come on.
Yeah.
Right.
Have we not moved on?
Well, I mean, that's the thing is he's saying, I can't even do that right. I love it. It's literally the second. I'm so glad it's still there. It didn't come down. I don't know if they ever go away, if they get too old, but.
No, but they'll scroll to the bottom once you get enough of them.
My 1-star review, and I'll own that. I mean, it might be a tattoo on me someday. I don't know.
Well, the way to look at it is if you read it a particular way, you're a star.
A star, right? Yeah.
It's all a positive. Turn that frown upside down.
Hashtag bright side. There you go. Yeah. It's like listening to paint dry in Dolby Digital. So I can't even imagine how I would have felt if I saw that and I hadn't already been podcasting with John for a year.
Yeah.
and because to a podcaster, just like, okay, never mind, I'll stop.
Oh.
But you just I mean, when John and I started, if we got that day one, we probably would have been like, oh.
Well, we might have been done, but probably not.
Yeah. But yeah, that's pretty funny. But I was just glad somebody listened.
Never listen to the vocal minority, guys.
Right.
No, I know. So, but yeah, early on. So we'll revisit that again next year. I love it. All right, that's it for listener experiences. Whether they're good or bad, they're showing up here. All right. Are we ready? You know what we have to get to now? We've got to get to 4K releases.
Yeah.
Oh, wrong timer. There we go. Boing. All right, coming out December 6th. That's next week. Next Tuesday, December 6th, we have Pulp Fiction in 4K dropping on Tuesday. Really looking forward to that. Yeah. It's a nice steelbook.
Don't get excited, fellas.
Why?
Because there's a review up on one of the thing websites.
Oh,
I think it's Blu-ray.com saying it's better than the Blu-ray, but not by much.
Oh, okay. Because everybody's raving about Reservoir Dogs.
Everybody's excited for it. Yeah. Reservoir Dogs.
Yeah, I think expectations to be tempered. I think on that one.
Okay.
I've got Reservoir Dogs. I haven't watched it yet. I've got the 4K disc, and I'll be getting Pulp Fiction as well.
Yeah.
But it's not a night and day remaster. It's not a big difference from what they have said.
Yeah.
And they're normally pretty accurate. So at least with video. Right. So I think, and it's the same audio as before. It's not Atmos, which I think is a massive shame because if ever a film could really benefit from.
Yeah, but Tarantino doesn't do Atmos. Tarantino's like Christopher Nolan. He didn't do Atmos on Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. He doesn't do Atmos. He doesn't like it.
Well, we'll upmix it anyway, I suppose.
Right. But, exactly.
But it would have been nice to have had it as an option, if nothing else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm looking forward to Ralph's review, and from
Yeah, he had it, didn't he? I saw his tweet.
He had it. Mike's review from AV Nirvana. All of these, I can't wait to read all of these reviews of it. It's one of my favorite movies of all time. I mean,
mine as well.
It's a great film. Yeah, it's great. So between that and Reservoir Dogs, which one would you choose? Let's Demolition Man Total Recall this.
Pulp Fiction. Yeah.
Okay, interesting.
It is very close though, because I go like Star Wars Empire kind of close, because I always give Star Wars the nod because it's the original, and I kind of think of Reservoir Dogs that way, in that it's without Reservoir Dogs we don't get Pulp Fiction, right?
Right. Yeah.
And it's
yeah.
So I kind of get that elevates it to there, but Pulp Fiction to me is one that I think it changed movie making for that time period. Like it really kind of revamped like how everything's out of order, how the storytelling and the multiple stories going at once, and just the character building, and never mind that, just the casting of Travolta. Right. He was nobody at the time. I mean, he was like he was somebody.
He had fallen from grace pretty hard.
But Bruce Willis in this, and Ving Rhames was a nobody at the time.
Well, and that's a Shawshank movie for me as well.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And can I be honest?
Yeah.
First viewing, didn't like it.
Yeah.
I did not like it after my first viewing. I had to watch it twice and then fell in love with it. But I was kind of underwhelmed after the first time around. Maybe it was the hype, but
my buddy Charlie said that. I had it on Laserdisc. I was like, you got to see this movie. And he goes, I saw it. It was horrible. And I was like, what? And he saw it in a hotel. Him and his wife were out, like we're on vacation or something. And they popped it on the hotel TV. And back then they didn't have widescreens, right? They just had that little crappy TV. And he goes, it wasn't very good. And then we watched it in my theater living room, and with the soundtrack, and it's got an amazing sound, just Son of a Preacher Man, one of my favorite songs off of that track, right? But all of the songs in that, and then playing in the theater-like environment in my living room, my buddy Charlie's like, it's one of his favorite movies now too, so he was a lot like you, John. It was pretty funny.
Yeah, and without Pulp Fiction, you don't get to Memento, you don't get Chris Nolan, you don't get this break in the narrative chain of story. You know, it was absolutely genre defining film.
Yeah.
But I think they're on a level. I think they're both about the same between Reservoir Dogs and Pulp Fiction.
Yeah.
If they're on, I'll watch them. I wouldn't go, I'd rather the other one was on.
Yeah.
He was batting 100 at that time.
Yeah,
Anyway,
I love them both. Yeah,
It's
I love
so
them both,
quotable.
but-
Why do I gotta be Mr. Pink?
Yeah.
You got a cool name, Mr. Black. Why do I gotta be Mr. Pink?
It's the world's smallest violin, playing for all waitresses. That's the one from Reservoir Dogs.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. Oh, and the one when we were, I said to Todd on Twitter, and he said something about Pulp Fiction, and I'm like, and I replied back to him like, "Would you give me a foot rub?"
Yeah,
that's my all-time favorite because I love the response to that because it was like it's just what a way to end that argument. Like, it doesn't mean nothing. Doesn't mean nothing. Would you give me one? He's like, "F you." It's getting a character. They walk down the hall. So good.
John, you will sympathise, I'm sure, as well. Whenever you're in Europe, tell me you don't find yourself thinking about a Royale with cheese at some point as well.
Right.
Yeah.
I want to go to Europe just so I can get a Royale with cheese.
And yet they still do call them quarter pounders here. They do call them quarter pounders.
Oh,
I don't know what the. Do
they?
Yeah. I mean, I think I'm not sure that that Tarantino had been to Europe when he wrote that. No. We've got quarter pounders with cheese here and half pounders and all the rest of it. That's that's just it's very normal.
Right.
So whether that's in France, I don't know. But whenever you're in Europe, you're always thinking.
Well, he was in Amsterdam.
Anyway,
yeah, that was in Amsterdam.
Yeah.
Now, do you put mayo on your fries though? That's Amsterdam.
Holland they do. Yeah, and that's the first time I ever tried it, and yet I can't have chips without it now. Sorry.
Oh, really?
Fries. Yeah. We call them chips.
No, I know that.
No,
But
we have
fries.
chips, and they're chips.
Yeah, you do, but we call those crisps.
Christmas.
We can't get anything right between us.
We're broadening the horizon.
Wars have been fought.
Yeah. Hey, you call them French fries.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry, I've got you well off the track there. We're talking about Pulp Fiction. Sorry.
That was the track. We're on to the next movie. Hopefully all these movies don't take this long on each one.
Sorry.
I will just say that I can't even do it. I'll wait. Next one from 1974, Black Christmas in 4K. Never seen that.
Not familiar with that.
Me neither. No, it's a horror film, but I haven't seen it.
There's the one.
Yeah.
I'll get to it.
All right. Adaptation in 4K from 2002. That's dropping on Tuesday, December 6th. Box set, 2-movie collection, 48 hours and another 48 hours. That just sounds like they're giving you the same movie twice.
Right.
From 82 and 1990.
I didn't realize they were that far apart.
Yeah, they were.
Yeah.
It was quite a big difference. Yeah.
Yeah.
The first one's really good. Second one is, I don't remember being
Not
that
as
good.
good.
Yeah.
No.
Mm-hmm. That's what happens when you wait 8 years.
Right.
48 hours also standalone on 4K is available. Clerks 3 in 4K is finally coming out. Steelbook anyways. Is it already out on disc, John?
No.
Okay, so
yet.
that is dropping.
It's out on streaming, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Children shouldn't play with. What's the rest of that? I
didn't you mention that last
Dead
time?
bodies or something?
Yeah.
Shouldn't play with dead things.
It's coming out again?
Dead things.
They're re-releasing it?
Did I mention it last week?
Maybe it got pushed.
Oh, it might have got pushed
Yeah.
from 1973. Yeah, 4K.
Yeah, because
I
we were
remember we
talking
talked
about
about
it.
Yeah.
Public service announcement, really.
Maybe
more than
that's
a
what I
film.
did. Yeah. Another 48 hours is also getting its own standalone release. Amsterdam from 2022. I haven't even heard of that.
I haven't seen that either. Well, it's got a star-studded cast. I mean, there's a lot of people in it, but I haven't seen it.
Nope, haven't seen
I think
that.
that's the Margot Robbie.
Yeah, it is.
R.I.P.D. in 4K from 2013.
Okay.
That's Steve.
You guys going to be more into that because that's a comic? Wasn't that a comic series?
It was a comic. I didn't like the movie very much, though.
Yeah, I didn't even
seen
see it. Yeah.
Jeff Bridges, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and
It
Ryan
didn't appeal-
Reynolds.
Yeah.
Back in his wilderness years when he was still in movie jail after Green Lantern.
Did you ever see him in Two Guys, a Girl, and a Pizza Plates?
Yes.
Did you
No,
ever
I
see
remember that.
Oh, it's a
Yeah.
TV show, and he was
Okay.
That's before he made it into movies.
It was a short-lived TV show, but
We loved it.
Yeah, I
Jen
liked
and
it,
I
too.
loved it. We couldn't wait for that every week, and nobody knew he wasn't anybody at the time, Ryan
Right.
Reynolds, but he was fantastic. He was himself on that show. Like every time you see him, he's like that sarcastic character. He was great. Loved that show because of that. Let's see. Again, I don't know why they're putting Black Christmas again, but
Part 2.
IP Man 3.
IP.
Couldn't wait. That's the one I was going to say earlier. It was the last. It's the
Oh,
second to
couldn't
last
wait.
one on the list.
Yeah.
It Man 3 in 4K from 2015, and last but not least, the Top Gun Superfan Collection.
Oh, I
Dropping
was
on
gonna
the
say
6th.
another Top Gun collection.
Yeah. Let me
Did
see.
you
You
order
bought that
that?
one 12 times.
I just bought this one once. I did get this one.
This is the big steel book.
This is the
one?
big
Yeah.
box
Yeah.
set with both movies and all the extras. I mean, I don't know. I think it comes with a volleyball net and so
And a tub of suntan lotion.
volleyball.
Actually
net.
comes with your own jet.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
Well, we know that you've got the jumpsuit for it, so
I got the
you're
jumpsuit.
halfway there. Yeah.
The glasses are in the pocket of the jumpsuit. So yeah, we're good to go there. All right.
Well, if they ever do a holiday special of Top Gun, I've got my glasses ready for that.
Right.
Oh, did you see that? Speaking of that, who was it? Somebody on Twitter or maybe in the green room pointed out. I think I'm not even going to say a name because every time I say a name, I'm wrong. So, but
Oh, is this about the
glasses.
the changing thing?
no.
Oh, yes, yeah,
that,
Bob's
Bob
glasses.
is wearing
Yeah,
his
Bob, yeah.
glasses, and and I'm like, that can't be right. And then Carl chimed in and said, "Yeah, I guess you can." I didn't think. I'm like, and I made the joke like, imagine once they turn the hill, like the G4, and now like Bob's trying to target, and he's got like searching the floor for his glasses,
Right.
Because they came off.
But
His,
wouldn't
I'm like,
that?
that doesn't make sense?
Well, those would be easier to find than trying to locate a contact lens, though, wouldn't
Yeah.
Yeah, true. I guess.
it? Yeah, the thing is, you could have a bit of elastic behind them in the helmet that would keep them on.
True.
They wouldn't then fall off. Whereas contact lens goes, that's that, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. I guess.
Dead eye it. I think I can. I think I can see it.
Use
Otherwise,
the
Top
force.
Gun then becomes use the force. Exactly. Yeah.
So, all right. That'll do it for the 4K releases for Tuesday, December 6th. Now we finally come to the part of the show where we're talking our home theater experiences. Who wants to go first? Why don't we start with Steve, since I think you have the longest list.
Okay, I'm going to try and keep some of these short then. Otherwise, we're going to be here
Yeah.
all night.
Yeah, Steve's got a little bit of a time.
Yeah. It's okay. We're okay for another 40 minutes or so, guys. But I'll try and keep some of these quick. So the ones that are least going to be interesting for you guys. So I'll do. Yeah, I know what you did last summer. Very quickly. Obviously, the movie from 1990 something.
Right.
Sony disc, and this is the key to this. So Sony disc. Absolutely exceptional audio video on this disc. It is phenomenal to the point where I put on Twitter, I think this rivals In the Line of Fire in terms of catalog releases from the 90s. It is stunningly good. Almost like a new movie. So if anyone is a fan of this film and wants it in 4K, go get it, because it is really, really good indeed. Film still holds up, still just as fun as it ever was. Very Scooby-Doo. But the audio and video of this is very nice indeed. So yeah, that one all day long. If you like it, go get it. It's not had many people kind of jumping up and down about it. I got it as a birthday present with a number of other horror films. But I absolutely recommend it and well worth seeing.
Cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right, John.
So I watched Smile, which dropped on Paramount Plus about 2 weeks ago. Actually, I watched this right after our last show. They did have it in Dolby Vision and Dolby Atmos. Yeah. I didn't love it. Now the
Go ahead.
presentation,
Say
the
what you
presentation. Oh, I put ugh. Why? Why am I watching this? No, it had a great presentation. Like for streaming, really good picture quality, really good sound quality, and actually a really good first half of the movie. This is essentially The Ring, except instead of watching a video, it's a smile. You know, like the smile is it transfers from victim to victim. You know, and you have basically 7 days to live, and you know she's trying to break the cycle of this. It just really fell apart at the back end, I thought. But the premise initially was pretty good. Kevin Bacon's daughter, I believe, was the main character here.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I don't know. Steve, did you actually see this?
No, I want to see it. I haven't. Okay. It's not come out here in 4K yet. I was thinking of picking it up. I'd heard it's a bit like the film It Follows. I don't know if you ever saw that. That's of it's a similar kind of premise where this woman thinks she's being followed by something, some sort of force, and it's kind of catching up with her and that kind of stuff. Right. But no, I want to see it. I haven't seen it. I will get it. But on the back of that, I may try and watch it in streaming before I buy the disc, just in case it is
like I said, I just think it was kind of creepy. You know, like I said, the beginning of it was creepy. The smile is creepy, you know, and it kind of gets you. But it just, I don't know. It didn't hold up. It didn't, like I said, the back end really fell apart for me.
Oh, okay. So, all right. Well, I will beware. I am forewarned.
Yeah. Right. I'll be interested because again, you know, you have a much bigger penchant for these movies than we do.
Crap.
No, I'm not gonna say that. But I'd be curious to see if you felt the same way.
Okay, I'm definitely going to see it. But yeah, I need to see it. Yeah, and without spending the 25 quid on the disc.
I might stream it. Yeah, first, and then see.
Okay, good. All right, definitely.
All right. Next up for me, Everything, Everywhere, All at Once, Kaleidescape, 4K, Atmos. I couldn't even take notes on this. I was so enthralled with this movie. Steve, you called it a while ago. You're like, the ending on this deed is like right up your alley, you said. And I was like,
is it not your ethos? Is it not exactly you?
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. That's the nice. Summation of everything. Just, And it's, I was like blown away. And honestly, I watched the trailer for this, everything, the talk about it. I heard it was, the reason I watched it is because I've heard a lot of people talking about the home theater experience of it. And it is definitely worth that. I mean, talk about, variable aspect ratios. It hits them all. I mean,
in about 5 seconds.
Yeah, it hits them all, and they mean a lot too to the movie. It helps you follow the movie as well. But I think it's not to get too into stories and too into real world stuff. But I'm like, I use this in the Thanksgiving podcast, and it's like that scene. It's not a spoiler or anything because if you don't know it, you're not spoiled. But the two rocks. And it's like,
told you the best rock acting ever.
Exactly. Yeah. But that scene is like getting off of Twitter. Twitter is everything, everywhere, all at once, right? That's all the universes, the whole place is everybody's at Twitter. And that's what it is. And then everybody goes, I'm out of here. And then where do they go? And you're like, these two rocks. That's what it was. And it was like, that summarized everything for me. And it's like, but then at the end of the day, it's like, just like you said, be nice. And it's like, you can go anywhere and just be nice. And I was just like, I loved it.
That's great.
I loved it.
Yeah. Oh, good. How did you find the opening few minutes though? Because I found, and I was thinking of you as I watched this few minutes as well, because the opening few minutes I found quite stressful. And because it's jumping around so much, there's so much going on and this is at the beginning, so it's not much of a spoiler, but where the lead character is getting so much stuff from so many different places that I found that quite stressful. And I read in an interview subsequently about it that says that's exactly the point.
Right.
It's trying to cause a reaction, a stressful reaction. And I was feeling that as I watched it.
Yeah.
So how did you find that? Did you find that way or not? Because it just, to me, it just was sensory overload. I was kind of, feeling tense.
There's a particular, there's a mirror in the background, the round one. I think it's round, on a desk in the back. And I found myself focusing on different things, trying to just get a grip on what was going on, right?
Yeah.
And like you said, I hadn't heard that, but that's what my response to you was going to be, was I think that was the idea of it, to get your temperament in the right situation so that as the rest of the movie played out, you were more attuned to everything, right? And paying attention to how things were being handled by different characters and different things. But yeah, there's so much to the movie that it is, and it's another movie that deserves rewatching because, I mean, the home theater experience, like I said, you've got the variable aspect ratios. You've got, they use different audio for different situations and different echoes and different, it's just a lot of fun to just, crank it up reference level and just enjoy it, because there's some quiet scenes as well.
Yeah.
And when you hit those, if you're not already at reference level, those don't punctuate as well, because your room doesn't come down to where it should be. It's just an amazing. I'm glad I saw it. If it wasn't, again, this is another one that if it wasn't for home theater, I'm not sure I would have just clicked on this. But I bought it back when it came out. I knew I wanted to see it, but I just kept putting it off. And then it was Rob really coming up with the title for the Thanksgiving podcast. I go, well, not that we talked about it. I'm like, I think I should kind of see this. So I threw it on, and I was like,
great.
It's amazing.
Well, that rock scene that we were talking about plays out with no dialogue, just written on the screen. But you can hear the wind moving around the room, and you can hear so you get that space and vastness. It's absolutely awesome. Yeah, exactly that. And you've probably never seen another film where two characters fight with marital aids. Which is a bit of an unusual one. We're putting John off it completely now. If you haven't seen it, John.
Well, 'cause I haven't seen it. No.
It's there is stuff in this film that you're never going to see elsewhere.
What was the movie with John Ritter, and he used the glow in the dark condom? Do you remember that movie?
I remember the movie. I can't remember the name of it.
Yeah, I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head.
But do they fight with it?
No, he runs around the room, though. The lights go out, so the whole screen goes black. And you just see him running, and there's this glow. It looks like a glow stick running around the room. And then he falls on it. It was pretty funny.
Yeah. Now, one other very quick question then, chaps. Obviously, John, you can't take part in this one. Very quickly, one for you, DJ. So, Best Picture up against RRR and this.
Oh.
Which one do you go for? Because they are likely to, if they're not, they are likely to be directly against one another.
Oh, really?
Nothing else, just Best Picture. Who are you going for on these two?
I don't know. That is a tough call. How about we have that call? Let John try to see this before the end of the year, and we'll put that. We'll do that, because that's a tough one.
Yeah, there's been lots of speculation here. Yeah, and I'm thinking, I don't know the answer to that question. If I was an Academy member, bear in mind, you realize, by the way, fellas, we see movies in a better environment than most of the Academy members that vote for these things do. A lot of them see them on screeners, on DVD, in a bedroom or in a, on a normal size TV or on a laptop. And that's not speculation. That's fact from many people that are members. So if we had seen both of those films, where would your vote be going? There's our question for the end of the year then.
I got a pretty big tease for you that something's in the works. One of our listeners, his brother,
producer, wasn't
it? Director. Wrote
right.
Mine 9.
Okay.
Well, he's got another movie coming out. As soon as he's done with the production on that movie, he's going to be coming on here. And that's exactly what we're going to be talking about. One of the things we're going to talk about is like how we ingest our movies, right? And the delivery system, if you will. And I'm really excited to talk to him about it, because he edits these movies. He's doing it all on a laptop, all like at this environment. But I can't wait to talk to him about, Mine 9 was incredible. And Jen and I, my wife and I, watched it in the theater. the enhancement that you get out of that movie, if you haven't seen it, Steve, is just it's scary. Is the claustrophobic?
What's the film? I've not heard of it. Mine 9 or Mine 9?
MINE. Mine.
Yeah.
Mine 9, and it's about a bunch of miners get trapped in a mine. 9 miners.
Okay.
Trapped.
Oh, right.
And
what's it on? What was it on, Dave?
It was on Netflix, and that's why we ended up talking about it. John, the listener, he wrote in and told me my brother wrote this, and I think you can buy it on Blu. I'm pretty sure. I know you can buy it on Blu-ray. And it was just about to go off on Netflix at the time, so we watched it on Netflix, and it's an amazing low budget film. But the way he did it and everything, I can't wait to have him on and talk to him about that and the new movie that he has coming out. I don't want to give away, but it's kind of, plays right to my wife and I and what she deals with all the time. So, but yeah, we'll talk about that stuff when he comes on too. But also how we take in our movies. What do directors, producers think when they're putting these out? Like how, because like you said, Steve, like, most of the population doesn't take these things in. People judging these from the Academy. Now they have experience in other places, so that they're judging on multiple things. But that's what I like. We here talk about we give credit to that aspect because, the home theater side of it. There's plenty of people, Siskel and Eberts out there. Let them be them people. But all right.
Yeah, well, that'll be an interesting question to answer. Then see what you see, John. If you do get a chance to see it, and it is an experience. There's no other way of saying that.
Oh, I definitely want to. Yeah, I just haven't picked it up yet. I mean, it's on sale for $9.99 everywhere right now. I just haven't bought
That's
it,
the one you haven't bought yet.
Well, that's the whole thing. Like, I just had Reservoir Dogs delivered. My little machine here, I don't want to say her name, is flashing yellow to let me know that it got here. But it's the one movie I haven't bought this year.
Yeah. That'll be a good discussion between those two movies because they are. But yeah, I'll save the comments for that. All right, who's next? Steve, you're up next.
Okay, right. I'm gonna amalgamate two of mine then. So we'll talk horror again. Sorry, guys. Happy Death Day and Happy Death Day 2. Now they are horror comedies, really. Have either of you seen them?
I haven't seen either one, but I'm familiar with them.
Yeah, they're basically a very strange story about a woman who basically, if you think of Groundhog Day as a horror, that's kind of what you're doing. A woman who wakes up every day on her birthday and she is murdered by a masked killer each day, and she has to sort of solve the puzzle of the killing. And it's done in a comedic way.
Of course,
and, she's a horrible person initially, and just discovers that everybody hates her. So there's all these different suspects, and then learns to sort of change her ways. And it's very funny. It's really well done. But so the stories are great. They are much more fun than they may sound. The titles don't do them favors really. They are both fun films. I've seen them both twice now. But the 4K discs, these are Shout Factory releases. They're only available in the US. Again, these were birthday presents. I had them in, imported, and they are absolutely excellent audio and video. And I've put up pictures of both on Twitter.
Spoiler free, right?
Yeah. The Patrick Stewart's not in either of these.
Not any of them.
No, you're all good. But they are the discs. I mean, the video. The audio is DTS HD, but you can neural upmix it. Right. That's fine. But the video quality on these is absolutely incredible. I mean, one is from 2017, one's from 2019, so they're new films, but still, the remastering job they've done on these, bearing in mind they're low budget movies, is exceptional. To the point where they look three-dimensional for pretty much the entire film. Detail levels are really good. Colors are bursting off the screen. So again, anyone listening that are fans, appreciate present company excluded, would if you think you might be liking them, get them. They're not expensive and they are very, very good indeed. And as I said, I tweeted out last night, having watched the second one, how much I enjoyed it, and saying Shout Factory have outdone themselves, and they retweeted it, which was very nice of them. So yeah, I think they're rather proud of these discs as well, and so they should be. They are very, very good indeed. But maybe not a holiday viewing, but it is for me. Isn't Cinema George?
Exactly. Everything. It's always horror holiday to you.
Well, it's part of it.
It's part of it. All right, John, what do you got next?
Where the Crawdads Sing. I streamed this on Netflix. It was in 4K, only 5.1, but of course upmixed with Neural X. This was a great film, first and foremost. Like, it was a very, very good story, very interesting movie. Dakota Johnson, I believe, is the main character here. And the sound, even though, again, was only 5.1, was fantastic. You know, this takes a place for a lot of the movie in like a swampy setting. So there's all that insect buzz and ambient noise. Just, like you want to swat the back of your neck when you're watching it. But it was fantastic because it's just like you're surrounded in the noise of the swamp and the outdoors, and it really was very immersive. But this is a like I said, really, really good film. I recommend. You and Jen would really like it. Well, Jen would like it, I know for sure. I mean, I think you would too, but I know Jen would enjoy it. You know, it's kind of a murder mystery thing. You know, she goes on trial for a murder, and you know, you're trying to figure out did she do it or didn't she? And but yeah,
that's right up Jen's alley. Yeah,
definitely recommended. So
cool. All right, for me, let's go with Black Adam. Let's talk about that for a minute. And the home theater experience, like you said, Steve, the movie is, if you haven't seen it, it's better than what it's getting credit for, right? The movie itself. I really enjoyed it in the theater. I saw it, I believe I saw it with my wife, and she liked it. It's got good action. I think it's one of the better DCEU movies. I put it up there with Aquaman. I found it entertaining. I found, you know, The Rock. What they did with him in this movie, I think they did on purpose because of his personality in real life, right? He's like Jason Momoa. He's larger than life. Even in real life, they're both like larger than life. Their personalities, their physiques, everything about them, they're just fun people that, like, I can't get enough of them on like social media. It's like when you see them out doing their press junkets and stuff, they just love what they do, right? And then I feel like his character in this is the opposite of that, right? It's a darker character, and I think I love what they did with it. I think that it's the juxtaposition of his real life personality with this character, and I enjoyed that. Home theater wise, this is an HDR juggernaut. It is so much fun. It's you know, Black Adam, so you have the dark suit. Think Spider-Man No Way Home when he was wearing his black suit, and that detail that you saw in there. And then there's times so you have the lightning bolt on his chest, and there's times like I remember watching it in the theater thinking, oh, I can't wait to see how that glows. And then watching it in my home theater now and being like, wait a minute, it's not glowing right. Guess what? It's not supposed to be yet. It's not like his powers aren't coming up. And then the lightning that you get in this movie, that all over the explosions, the depth in these explosions that I saw, the bright yellows, and then how quickly it transitions to the deep reds, and then the black smoke, and then the gradations in the smoke. And this is in the first 5 minutes, that action scene in the beginning of the movie. It looks absolutely amazing, and the bass is fantastic. There are going to be scenes when you're like, oh, that should have had more bass, but nope, it was further away. But then there'll be another scene where you're like, oh, this movie's got you're getting the rumbles coming up, and every time he enters a room, you know, it's like, did they have doors? Yeah, that's how we entered a room. I just found it, like, as a home theater movie, I found it so much fun. Comments, top 10 of probably 2023 we're looking at here, because this is going to be a disc. It doesn't come out until the 3rd of January, so we're looking at 2023. And I'm telling you, a year from now, we'll be like, oh, yeah, that movie came out this year. Because these January movies, they always get forgotten come December. You're like, I thought that was last year. Well, the movie, like Dune, right? Dune was last
came out in
year's January movie, right? So, yeah, this one isn't going to be forgotten a year from now, I don't think. Because honestly, I can't imagine 2023 being better than 2022. For home theater experiences.
Well, there won't be another Maverick, so
I know.
You can ask Tom Cruise to re-release
all the other
it.
movies have a shot, right? It's like, I mean, come on. It's like, like when Meryl Streep doesn't make a movie during the year, all the other actresses are like female leads are like, phew, I've got a shot this year, right?
Right.
So Black Adam, look at them. Like they got a shot next year at Home Theater Experience of the Year. So, all right. Who's next?
Steve.
Yeah. Okay. Right. Well, I'll very quickly do Lawrence of Arabia then, of course, because I've now seen it. So we'll do it quickly because, of course, you guys talked about it at some length last time as well, but I hadn't seen it then. Everything they say about the disc is right in terms of what it looks like, in terms of what it sounds like. Absolutely captivating.
Okay. Now it's a 3-man show. Where does this come down?
Yeah, there's no but yet. There's no but. I thoroughly enjoyed it. But I get exactly, John, why you found it so interminably long. I can see why someone would think that and why you would, but I found it fascinating. I was just swept up in it. I was looking at all the little details and in the backgrounds, looking at all the costumes, looking at the way in which they were progressing the story and just sort of just wallowing in it. And I was really enjoying that. The black screen at the beginning is fantastic, and I'm not just kidding. It was really, really good, and I can see why it's got 100 out of 100 on IMDb. Right. You can see why it is a classic film, and it was worth the £55 that I paid for it. But having said that, and I did really enjoy it. Again, I'm not sure how many times I'd rewatch it because I just don't think I'll have that time to rewatch it, and I wouldn't want to watch it in bits. I'd want to see it all the way through again as I did.
Right.
But I absolutely 100% understand the issues with it, but I thought it was great, and I'm so glad I've seen it, and again, so glad I saw it like this, on my own in the cinema room, sound up, and just let it go. It was great, and Peter O'Toole is just absolutely fantastic in it.
Yeah.
I mean, here's us 60 years later saying,
I know,
that film's
that's
really
how
good.
I felt too.
Yeah, yes. It's like we're just catching up with the rest of the world.
Exactly.
Exactly. It's like, what are they talking about? Oh, Lawrence of Arabia. Look at them go.
Yeah.
Yep.
Just we're Steve Rogersing this stuff, aren't we?
Exactly.
With our little list of things
that
everybody else has seen. Yeah, that's it. So fantastic disc.
That's what I felt like. Again, yes, this is 60 years later, but also think of that story arc and everything they did. That had to have been like huge 60 years ago, right? It's like, I think nowadays you kind of take those things for granted, which is, I do understand how John, feels seeing this today in with the movies that we have, the story arcs that we've had. I mean, obviously coming from the MCU, I mean, not comparing the MCU to Lawrence of Arabia, but the MCU has an entire phase that has a story arc of a Lawrence of Arabia, right? And it's like, so for them to have done that back then, and again, I think you and I talked about it on Twitter when you finished the movie, it's like, it's not as long as you would think. I just think it got that reputation. It's 3 hours and 40 minutes. And there's a lot of other movies that are longer or around that time. But I think it just got that reputation over the years. Like, have you seen Lawrence of Arabia? No, I had to work this week. That's the running joke, right? Everybody would be like, I got something else to do. Sorry, I didn't have a month to give to the movie or whatever. But it just got that reputation, but it's really not that long.
No, I think you probably could feel that way.
I mean, I will binge an entire season in one day. So it's not
right.
It's not sitting still for 4 hours necessarily that got to me, but
right.
It's a idiosyncratic film, isn't it?
Right.
It's very not only of its time, in terms of when it was made, but also the time that it is evoking, which was a very particular time in history, and in a place where you had, you know, those people. The British officers were exactly like that. Some will say they still are, but you know, they really were kind of little Englanders, you know, in the Middle East, and they were characters. You know, they were very, very unusual, eccentric people. I'm sure not all of them, but many of them were, because you'd have to be to even be there. You know, your general officers were in the European theatre. So you know, and how it evokes that can then be problematic, I think, as well. So I think people watching it might struggle to kind of get into that. But the audio, I thought, by the way, was excellent as well. And you know, there's a Gatling gun in that, by the way, because we're going to talk Halo briefly in a minute. But there's a Gatling gun in that sounds like a proper bloody Gatling gun, rather than Halo, where it really didn't.
Rather than the space Gatling gun.
Yeah. I thought the audio was particularly beefy. You know, when the railway, you know, spoiler alert for a 60-year-old movie, when the railway sort of explosions are going, the bombs are going off, you feel those. You know, I mean, there's a really decent, hefty bass sort of punch with those, and for a 60-year-old movie, I mean, just incredible. Yeah. But yeah, so very, very good, very good,
really good. Yep. All right, John.
All right. Next up is 1899. This was a series, one season on Netflix, 4K Dolby Atmos. So I talked several months ago about Dark. I spent some time watching the 3 seasons of Dark on Netflix. This is the same creative team that was behind Dark. So if you remember it all the way I described that, it was very much I don't understand what's happening for 90% of what I'm watching. But it all kind of came, by the end of season 3, it all kind of came together. And I feel like this is shaping up the same way. Through season 1, I don't really know what I watched, but I did enjoy it. And again, really, really good presentation here. A Dark had great Atmos, had great visuals, and this is the same. This takes place on an ocean liner in spoilers, 1899. So it's very much of that time. It's multilingual. Like there's subtitles galore because everybody on the ship speaks a different language, and you don't want to dub this all into English. You know, you want to experience it in its original form. But visually and the sound on this was really, really good. Everything you would expect from like an ocean journey, as far as like Atmos sound goes, it was all here. You know, lots of waves crashing, lots of things happening, and but yeah, it's it's a thinker for sure. You really, cool. You don't know what's happening for most of the show, and you're just trying to figure this puzzle out. And then it goes in a really, really weird direction at the end of the first season. And hope this gets picked up. Like I said, Dark ran for 3 seasons, so hopefully this will run at least another season so we can figure out what was going on. Yeah. But yeah, I really did enjoy it though. Like, cool. Really good.
Cool. All right. My next one, really quick. Revisiting Hawkeye. I did episode 1 2 Fridays ago. I did episode 2 this past Friday. And it's everything I remembered and more. Going back through it, and it's like when they ended episode 1 and you're like, oh no. And I made myself wait. I waited the week because they end these things on cliffhangers, but it's a lot of fun. It's a holiday movie. You know how much I love the holidays, and I timed it out so this is going to end right before Christmas. It's 6 episodes, really quick, but the 4K is fantastic. The HDR here on Disney Plus with the holiday lights and the shading and the lights and the New York streets and stuff, just a lot of fun. And the Atmos, again, a lot of fun. Just a fun thing to do on, we don't, when you're in your home theater, and it's like, I like to celebrate Christmas for that 1 month, just binge as much Christmas as I can. I do this with a lot of shows. I'll I'll watch, like, I love Psych. I go and I watch all the holiday editions of that. And the same with Big Bang Theory. I'll watch the holiday editions of those. And that's how I go to sleep at night. But yeah, this one here, it's just, I knew I was going to do this last year, and it is a fun, I mean, it's part of the MCU. So it is kind of fun to revisit now and get some of the things that maybe because we were so excited to have a new show, now you're picking up on as the show's going along. So really enjoying that. So, all right, Steve, next up.
Right, we'll quickly then do Halo, the TV series, then just quickly finish that off because I finished it now.
Yep.
Still the same issues with the sound. It's still inconsistent bass. And of course, Ralph reviewed it, didn't he? And he said the bass was excellent. Which I
Well, see, the thing is I think he's agreeing with like the discussion that we had. He's agreeing with my side. It's like you're saying it's inconsistent. It's not that it can't go that low. It's just they didn't. And so it's so your thing is like, it's the expectations. Like, I want that Gatling gun to be like you guys were just joking, but that's kind of the thing. It's not our Gatling gun. It's a space Gatling gun. And I mean, I don't know. It's like, it didn't take away from it for me because there were like the footsteps when he's walking.
Yeah.
You get
the suits.
There's boom, boom, boom. I mean, and when they want to hit you with it, they can. It's just they don't all the time.
Yeah, but it was good. And I think that the last episode went a bit gamey for me. The CGI sort of gave up the ghost. I think whether they just ran out of money on the last one because it all goes when they go to the Covenant homeworld. Yeah, when they go to the Covenant homeworld, or I think that's what that is. It looked like episode 1 of Halo 1 back in 1990, whatever it was. Right. It's like they just forgot to add all the textures to the various things. It all went very video gamey at the end. But
they did that at the opening of it too. Don't you remember?
But not that blatantly.
Maybe that was a stylistic choice. They're bringing it back into the video game. Yeah.
Well, it would quite. But in which case, I think I'd have rather been playing the game. But I didn't dislike it. I did enjoy it. It played out well. It just that was a little jarring at the end. It went a bit Scorpion. The Mummy Returns at the end. Suddenly you've got just a low res kind of CGI, and it just that looked a bit strange to me. But I did enjoy it, and I'm glad I've seen it. And some of the stuff was fantastic. Overall, it looks really good. Issues with the audio aside, it's still well worth having and well worth seeing. So that would be my view on that one.
All right. John?
Echo 3.
Yeah.
This is a series on Apple TV. They dropped 3 episodes. Well, they might have dropped 2 and then there was a third, but when I caught up to this, there was already 3 episodes.
Okay.
So again, your standard, we always say Apple TV, 4K, Dolby Vision, Dolby Atmos, and again, just fantastic quality of both. And this show was no exception. This is a military type rescue show, so there's all the guns, there's all the I mean, there was a scene, and I think the second episode with the helicopters, and I mean, you could hear those things in every speaker around the room. Just it was fantastic. And then, so far, pretty compelling show. And I know you said you've only watched the first episode. And actually, through the first episode, I wasn't hooked. So it took 2 to 3, but I really got into this. And Luke Evans and the other guy I recognize, but I don't know his name. Seems to be shaping up to be really, really good, though.
But as home theater wise, it's amazing what Apple TV is doing, and it is the most consistent, right?
Yes.
It's like we talk about Amazon Prime is probably the least consistent because they put out some stuff that's absolutely production, movie production quality. Rings of Power is just amazing, but then their other stuff, you're like, what the hell happened here? But they do Tomorrow War. That was amazing. They put out some really good stuff. HBO Max is doing some good stuff. And same with Netflix puts out so much stuff that they're running the gamut, and I liken this to the old Atmos versus DTSX debate, right? Atmos, almost everything comes out in Atmos, so you're going to have some flops and you're going to have some amazing ones, whereas DTSX, it's like, we're putting this out in DTSX. It's got to be good because we can't, and they haven't had a failure. They're just very consistently good. And that's Apple TV. If something comes out on Apple TV, produced by Apple TV, it is top-notch picture, top-notch sound, physical quality, physical disc quality. Yeah. And
I haven't liked every show they've put out. Like I've started and dropped a couple of them.
Right.
But I can find no fault in anything that they've done. Like everything
to
is
the
just
point that
fantastic.
It makes you watch it as a home theater fan.
Well, right.
You're like, I gotta try it, and because who knows,
That's the only reason why I watched this show was because it was Apple TV, and then I ended up getting into it. But but that's what got me on board. It just popped up on a new series on Apple TV, and I had to check it out.
Yeah. See, I thought episode 1 there's some really good scenes in there. That snow scene. Where you hear in the
crunch. It actually gave me like chills. That's one of those sounds like nails on a chalkboard that actually kind of bothers me a little bit.
Yeah.
And I felt myself cringing a bit when they're walking through the snow.
I could feel the snow in my boots from when I was a kid, and you're and like the snow falls down inside. You're like, oh, it's so cold.
Yeah.
I was just, it is that
now,
good.
I didn't know it snowed in Afghanistan, so I guess that's my naivete or whatever. But I was like, I didn't know that happened there. But
yeah. See, when you look in the background in Afghanistan, especially, I think that's where they were in Iron Man when he launched at the beginning when he launched.
Oh, was it?
Yeah. So that's Afghanistan.
Snow in the mountains.
That's snow in the mountains. That's snow in the mountains. So I don't know if that was a giveaway or not.
Maybe.
But yeah. So it is really good. And the end scene from episode 1 is that helicopter taking off.
Maybe that's the scene.
It's a
maybe
single helicopter leaving, and you're like,
okay, then that's
not. And your whole room is like, it was really good. Really good. All right. Let's get to it, boys. Home Alone. Home Alone. So we have actually, you know what? We haven't given anything away yet either today.
Oh, we haven't.
So first up, while I pull up the disc, I'll pull up our list of discs here. But I'm going to be giving away a disc for Home Alone, because not the disc, but the digital file, digital code for Home Alone, because Dan put his money where his mouth is. And I've done this with you, John, and movies that I've really liked. And so I felt I had to watch it because...
Oh, Dan, he sent this to you?
He sent me the disc.
Oh, okay.
He sent me the digital code. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to put it in here as a digital giveaway because I know it's on Disney Plus. But anybody that doesn't have Disney Plus but would like the Home Alone digital code, I will pay it forward, because I was like, I wasn't going to watch this. And I was being that stubborn about it because I can't make me watch it. But you know what? If you're nice enough to send it to me, and I'm like, all right, you're going to do that, I'm going to do that. So
just for the record, no one send me The Fifth Element. I'm still not watching it.
That's right.
You see what I'm doing?
We'll be giving that away on the show.
Yeah. What if we had Bruce Willis show up at your doorstep? No,
I'd be throwing it back at him and saying, "Let's watch Die Hard instead." And you know what? I think
let's watch Hudson Hawk.
Hudson Hawk. There you go.
Let's watch Paint Dry in Dolby Digital, and it will still be better.
There you go.
All right. So, all right. So, first person for Home Alone. Let's see. First person for Interstellar, given to us by Johnny Speakers. Let's go up. We've got so many here. This has been amazing. First person for Ghostbusters Afterlife. We have a digital code for that. And that's from Brent Jones. And we also have from Brent Jones, digital code for Thor Love and Thunder. So those are the 4 giveaways for this. And because we talked about it this week, we also have a 4K disc. This is a disc. This is a big one from Nelson. First person for Total Recall 4K disc. And that's the Arnold Schwarzenegger 4K Total Recall, not the Colin Farrell 4K.
I didn't dislike that. I thought
I
that was
didn't
all right.
either, but the original
Kate
is
Beckinsale.
better. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So you can't. So we have Ghostbusters Afterlife, Thor: Love and Thunder. We also had Total Recall 4K disc. That is the actual disc that will be mailed out by Nelson. Interstellar digital code and Home Alone digital code. And that's our giveaways for this week. We have plenty more for next week too. Right. So thank you for everybody that keeps submitting them. It's a fun thing we're doing here. I could easily just go and put these on Twitter and somebody'd scoop them up, but I think it's more fun this way. So,
right.
But thank you, everybody. Keep paying it forward. We're having fun with it. So just got to keep remembering to do it because they're piling up.
Right.
All right. So Home Alone. Yeah. My poor wife, we went down to watch it, and she had seen it before, and I'd seen parts of it before, but I'd never watched the movie in its entirety. And I know why. I'm just like, what the hell? And the whole time, it's so funny because my poor wife, she's sitting there going, can you just, like the first 40 to 50 minutes of this movie, I just sat there going, now that wouldn't happen. Now that wouldn't, the parents wouldn't do, how do you get on the plane and then go, Kevin? And it's like, and here's the thing. After about an hour, I stopped doing that. And I'm like, all right, just enjoy the movie. And I tried. It is definitely, and now here's the thing. Is it a good movie? I guess. I don't know. I can't say I liked it. I can't say I liked it. But at the same time, I look at it through the lens of a 20-year-old when this came out. And now, this is for kids. It's a kid's movie. I can see why kids like it. If I see that kid run at the camera one more time and go, 4 times. They went to that well 4 times. I'm like, seriously, again? I don't know. It's just, but it's not for us. It's not for me. It's like, like John watching Lawrence of Arabia, it's like, if all of a sudden you're 52 years old and somebody goes, watch Home Alone, and be like, why? It's just not for us. As an adult with a child that age, that's entertaining because the adult's looking at the child going, oh, this would be funny. It's cute. Yeah. For a 20-something that doesn't have kids, that's no interest, no. And for a 52-year-old, no. It was not one I will be revisiting.
I love it. I can't.
Yeah.
Really?
But again,
love it?
Maybe it's
Love's
because
a strong word, boys.
Maybe because I saw it when I was 20. I don't know, but
right.
I like it.
Yeah.
You know.
I think it's inoffensive. It's fun. It's Tom and Jerry violence. It's all, it is of its time, but still it's fun enough. And yes, could it happen? No.
Right. You got to turn your
no.
Yeah. It ties itself up in knots. Actually, funny enough, I've watched that in the last week, just on Disney Plus, just with a group of people not really paying attention, but watching it. It ties itself up in knots to try and make it as if it could happen. Right. When they get on the plane, there is a clear line of dialogue about, you've all got to sit in separate seats because it's very busy, and that's so that they wouldn't have them all together, and you wouldn't know that you'd be missing.
First class, and they're in coach.
Yeah. So they tie themselves up in knots.
Even my wife's like, oh, see what they did there? It's the neighbor's kid set it off because the neighbor's kid got in line, and I'm like,
right,
all right, yeah, I get it,
yeah.
But I'm still like,
It's inoffensive enough. It's all good fun.
I counted the hours, and I'm like, there is nothing. What really bothered me was the father. The mother, I thought, was realistic. She was stopping at nothing, right? She was trying to give jewelry. She's paying, and I'm like, you should be able to get home, especially back then. I mean, there was way more restrictions now on flying than there were back then. I'm like, if they got there, and I even did the timeline out. I'm like, say they overslept and got up at 8:00 and they had a 10 o'clock flight. No, follow me on this. I'm like, so they land. Now, Steve, we're talking right now. You've got to get to bed soon. They left Chicago at, say, 10 in the morning, and that's saying late, okay? How is it light out when they landed in Europe? Because they're conversing and there's sun in the airport. It's impossible. And then they're like, we flew out the next morning. It took 3 days 3 night times went by for what's his name again?
Kevin McAllister.
Kevin!
Yeah.
It took 3 nights for Kevin. Kevin toured the town. He went shopping, went grocery shopping. 3 nights. They couldn't get back on what would be a 6-hour flight? Come on, people.
But it's probably seven. It's 7 to New York. It's a 7-hour flight to New York. So Chicago's further across. So add another 2 hours.
Hour.
How long would it take to fly from Boston to Chicago?
Probably 2 hours, but you're not stopping if you just flew
so if it's
right
7 hours
over.
to Boston or to New York, so you add you're probably about 9 hours.
You do
maybe 8-9 hours. Yeah,
even still.
I mean, it was 11 for me to France from Texas.
Oh, there you go. So so it wouldn't be so 9 hours, probably, give or take. Yeah, depending on the route they took. They go straight across the Atlantic. That's one thing. But if you go up and over,
they go up and over, and they shorten that by 8. Like, John, you're down closer to the equator, so you got to do the fat of the Earth. So that's it's. But my point is, like, in the
you
father
thought way too hard about all of this.
You've already spent more time thinking about it than the makers did.
Not even the time. The father's attitude. He'll be fine. What?
Yeah, but
you left an 8-year-old at home, and you're just like, let's go to the apartment, and we'll figure it out. What? There's an 8-year-old stuck at home.
Yeah, I don't think there's any question about the fact the parents in this are worse than the burglars.
Yeah. Right. Well, I thought the mom did everything she could.
Are worse. She's horrible. She's horrible. She's horrible. She says to Kevin upstairs, well, maybe you should wish for a new family then. I mean, how horrible is that?
Right.
At Christmas of all times, you shouldn't say it anyway, but the parents are worse than the burglars in both films, both of the original
the way
two.
They treat them
they're vile.
Yeah.
Just So and also, what parent genuinely is not checking? 53 times. When you get on the thing on the route to the airport.
For your own kids.
There, when you get on. Exactly. So there's no doubt there. But you've already thought more about it than the filmmakers did.
Yeah.
So
but even better, if you go on Disney Plus, there's a Home Alone 2. Did you guys know that?
Oh yeah.
There's Home Alone.
Donald Trump's in it.
Oh Jesus. Yeah. And it's still on Disney Plus?
Yeah. He is still in it, because I rewatched that as well, and they've still left that bit in it. He's only a quick cameo.
There's no way I'm watching that one. That's going Fifth Element for me. There's no way I'm watching that one. But there's also a 3, a 4 with other characters.
Well, some of those went straight to video, I think. A couple
3 and 4 did, I think.
Was straight to video. And then there's like a new remake from like a year ago.
Yeah.
Also, which I haven't seen.
I think there's a sing-along. I don't know.
Yeah.
So
I don't think I saw 3 and 4 either.
I remember 3 and 4.
I remember 2.
Lost in New York. Now, did they leave him home in that, or did they take him to New York and then lose him there?
They fly to Florida. The family fly to Florida, and he gets on the wrong plane to New York.
Oh, okay. So,
I know because I was watching it earlier tonight.
Great parents. Great parents.
Yeah. Although, to be fair, in that, they do have to explain to a police officer why this has happened again.
Right,
and that's quite a funny scene. Yeah, that's quite a funny scene because they are literally, having to face up to the consequences of what they've done and how horrible they are.
Right.
All right. Let's move on to happier thoughts.
Well done for seeing it.
I know. Well, hey, like I said, Dan stepped up, put his money where his mouth was, sent it to me, and I was like, I can't deny this. So I took it, my wife and I watched it. I think it was Thanksgiving morning. So, hey, it was an experience. Let's say that. Yeah. All right. What do you got, Steve?
Okay. Right. So, I'll go very quickly there with The Grey, which I rewatched. The 2011 Liam Neeson Wolf Puncher, the movie, basically. Which is slight spoiler alert, but it is from 2011.
I haven't seen this.
No, me either.
Have you not seen the film at all?
No.
Oh, fellas. Right. There is your homework for between now and next week. You will both absolutely love this film.
I feel like I'm back in school when he says that. He said it to us before, John, and I'm like, I don't know if it's the accent or what, but I'm like, I actually dread it. Like, there's your homework.
There's your homework.
What the hell?
That was more Arnold Schwarzenegger, Deej. What was that all about?
I don't know.
Where's your homework? Now, I'm amazed you haven't seen it. So this is not your Liam Neeson typical You know, it's not your what Liam Neeson has become since Taken. Yeah, it's not that. What you have is this is a Joe Carnahan film, I think. Yeah, that's it. Well, quite. This is a film. This is more like The Revenant, you know, than Taken. Okay, it's a survival movie. Very briefly, about a group of guys on a plane. Plane crashes. They're in the middle of the wilderness, and they are being stalked by wolves. Bloody, great, big, horrible, not supernatural, but big wolves. And they start to pick them off as they try and survive. Now, this thing was shot like The Revenant, in as much as it was done for real, in the wilderness, in the middle of nowhere, and you can see it. You know, they are shivering for real. You've got Frank Grillo in it. You've got, you know, a number of character actors in it. And, you know, they look like they went through hell shooting this film. And it's quite nihilistic. It's quite dark. It's got, you know, Liam Neeson's got a background to it that is quite tricky to watch. The various people in it are all, you know, have got backstories as well. It is well worth seeing, and from a home cinema perspective, the audio in it's great. There's a plane crash for one, but you've also got snowstorms, and you've got, you know, wind going through. You've got wolves howling, and all the rest of it.
Oh wow!
It is really well worth picking up. I mean, it's only on Blu-ray. It's not in 4K. I wish it was in 4K. It's quite grainy. It's a gritty picture, but it will be because, of course, they've shot this stuff in the real cold environment. Right. So they were never going to get pristine images out of this. But it is really worth seeing, fellas. And there is a post-credit sting, so make sure you watch that. Okay, it's from 2011, so this was pre all the Marvel stuff.
Pre-Marvel,
mainly. Mainly it's the newer ones. But it is well worth seeing, guys, and I'll be fascinated again to see what you make of it. But you'll feel cold watching it. You know,
homework I like.
Yeah, if you want to feel guilty, watch it with a nice warm cup of coffee or tea or whatever, you know, in a nice climate-controlled environment. Right. And as you watch what these poor sods went through, you can sort of, you know, you will feel guilty, as I do when I watch The Revenant. So, yeah, it's really good. I'm amazed you haven't seen it, that the two of you haven't. Seek it out, guys. It is well worth it. And again, anyone listening or watching, if you haven't seen it, you've got homework as well.
There you go.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Steve handing out the homework.
I know.
Oh, yeah. Assignments. Yes, they will be marked.
Yeah.
Damn, he's got
all
the
To be fair,
terms.
I do teach as well.
I do
teach
teach
as well. So,
like,
you know, it is,
like
I do it professionally.
You're just hitting that vibe. I'm like, okay. Now I'm going to be like hiding next week like this if I haven't done that.
I know.
In the back of the
You'll thank me if you do. You'll thank me for watching this. Yeah. Honestly, you will thank me if you watch it. You know, you guys could hear me now, believe me when you've seen it.
So it's not a horror movie. Okay.
No, it's not. No, it's a survival movie in the best tradition of the term.
There we go.
Listen to me now, hear me later.
That's it. Yeah, hear me next Tuesday.
Yeah.
There you go. All right. John, your next one.
This is my last one. Wednesday. Netflix. Dolby Vision, Dolby Atmos. This is, of course, the Addams Family spinoff with Wednesday Addams, Tim Burton, Jenna Ortega, Gwendolyn Christie, Catherine Zeta-Jones, Luis Guzman. Great cast. This is absolutely reference quality.
Really?
Video and audio. It's everything you would expect from Tim Burton. It's dark. It's quirky. It sounds fantastic. This is up there with Stranger Things for me in terms of like the quality on Netflix. And a lot of fun. Like I've mentioned this before. I think growing up, you were either like the Munsters kid or the Addams Family kid. And I was very much the Munsters kid. I never really watched the Addams Family. I've seen them. I know who they are. I saw the movie, you know, years later, but I'm not really the Addams Family guy, but I had a lot of fun with this. It was really good. I'm surprised you haven't seen any of it yet. But yeah, fantastic visuals and audio. Well worth the watch just for that.
I'm like that as well with Addams Family. I never really got into it. So
I didn't either, but you don't have, and it's, again, this is, don't mistake it, because this is not the Addams Family. It's Wednesday.
Right.
Luis Guzman is Gomez, Catherine Zeta-Jones is Morticia, and they are there, but very much in the background. Like this is about Wednesday, you know. Cool. You know, they all make an appearance. Fester makes an appearance. You know, they're there, but this is her story. Cool. But yeah,
so you just having a working knowledge of the characters is all you need.
Yeah, you just have to know who, and even that they're explained well enough as they're introduced into the story. Right. If you don't know anything at all, it doesn't matter. Like, cool. It's just, yeah, I can't say enough how good it was. You know, if you like the story, like I thought it was good, you know, that's up to y'all. But the visuals and the audio were top notch. So,
all right. For time crunching, I'm going to combine two, and I think it's a good combination too with the holidays and everything. Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special on Disney Plus, 4K and Atmos, and Spirited, Apple TV Plus in Atmos. It's in 4K and Atmos as well. To me, they both bring, and I know, Steve, you saw Spirited, right? So
yeah, and Guardians, I've seen them both.
Oh, you've seen them both. All right, so we can just blast through these quickly then. But as a home theater experience, I think they're both must watch for the holidays. They both have fantastic 4K HDR with the bright lights. And the thing with Guardians of the Galaxy, I'm sure you'll notice this as well, Steve. It's like you've never seen these characters this close with this much light on them. I mean, you can see makeup. You can see like, oh my! It's like it's awesome, and it's awesome. But at times you're like, pull back, like too close. The makeup on Drax looks a little bit suspect at times. Yeah, it does, but it doesn't. Like it gives you that holiday special feel, right? And it's like and I think the stories in both of these is a lot of fun. But I highly I want John, you haven't seen either of them yet, right?
No, I saw Guardians. I just haven't seen Spirited. I've seen Guardians twice, actually. So
yeah, I have too.
Wow, look at you.
Yeah, I watched
getting all in the spirit, John.
Well, I watched it and Lydia slept through it, and so we watched it again the next day because I wanted her to, see it.
Yes. And Guardian, Jen and I watched, we actually started Spirited up in the living room. And I was like, we got like a good 40 minutes into it. And I was like, let's watch this downstairs. So we shut it off and we picked it up. And when we picked it up, she's like, no, let's start it again. So we backed it up and we started from the beginning. And Spirited is just the singing, the dancing, everything about it. To me, I felt like it's like Scrooged. It's a very similar to Scrooged, brighter, funnier, happier, and I'd love to talk more about it later on in the holiday season because I love, much like Everything Everywhere All at Once, I love the end of this movie too, in probably a way that a lot of people will be like, no, that's not, I don't think that's what they meant, and I'm like, I do, and I just think it was a lot of fun. But home theater wise, both of these I think are must watch if you guys want to weigh in.
Yeah, well, I agree. I think well, put it this way: I prefer this Marvel preview special to Wolf by Night or Werewolf by Night.
Yeah,
put it that way, definitely, which is unusual for me.
Yeah.
I think it's great, and I love the new characters. I love Cosmo. I absolutely love how she talks like this, which I just think is brilliant, and I loved it even more the second time. I thought it was great. Yeah. The little sting of the tail with Groot has ruined Christmas again. I just think that was great. No, it's really fun, and quite throwaway. I think it's disposable. I think it's not. I don't think it's not essential storytelling. I think it's very light, very frothy. I think it's done with a lightness of touch, which James Gunn, is good at, but doesn't normally do.
I don't want to give anything away, but isn't there something in there that isn't in the MCU yet?
Yeah, there is, but in terms of it's a light story. It's an inconsequential story. There are little bits in there that are going to feed into Guardians 3, but nothing that they can't fix with a line of dialogue so that you all caught up. So I think it's very knowing, and it's very, very, very frothy deliberately, and I think that's what it's trying to do. And I like that about it, and I got that even more the second time. I think that it just seemed to be just this lightness of touch, which was nice, because actually not much happens. But the music's good. The songs are great. Of course, it's James Gunn, isn't it? And I thought it was great. And again, as holiday specials go, not only would I prefer this over Werewolf by Night, but better than the Star Wars holiday special, that's for sure.
Yeah. I actually downloaded the songs from both of these from iTunes.
Did you?
Obviously, Spirited would be on iTunes, but the Guardian songs are there as well with Kevin Bacon, and they open with that song at the beginning. And it's not as fun on iTunes because you don't have the Chris Pratt interjections. It's like, no, no,
and you can't see the arm.
The arm,
yeah, the arm, and it's like, oh, how about that? I mean, I don't want to give anything away, but you use the term arm. That's awesome. I thought that was a great little Easter egg in there, and it's not a giveaway until you see it, and you'll be like, "Oh, that's what DJ was talking about." But what a great little Easter egg for people following along through the MCU. But I thought they were a lot of fun, especially watch both of these in your home theater. They're awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Just be careful after Spirited that you don't say good afternoon to too many people.
I got that. Finally, you guys, and that's what's so great about this home theater community. I mean, John and I are just simple idiots born in the woods, and all of a sudden everybody is telling me good afternoon. They were like, oh, TJ's going to be saying good afternoon. I'm like, what the? I had a DM Dan, and I was like, what the hell does this mean? You've lost me. Because everybody was saying it to me. I'm like, what the hell is this? And then all of a sudden it was like, I think it was my second viewing. I was watching it with my wife, and I'm like, oh, this is good. That's what I'd forgotten what everybody was saying to me. I was like, oh, okay.
Well, it's my classic sort of send off when I'm in court and I'm saying, goodbye to the magistrates or the district judge. It would normally be, oh, good afternoon, and you'd leave. And now suddenly when I say it, I'm thinking, actually, I need to be quite careful about that because if they've seen this, they might think that's me actually meaning something else.
That's not true, is it? That's not true lore, is it?
I haven't looked into it. I don't know. Probably not, because it sounds a bit silly, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And I can't think of the circumstances in which that could have a double entendre and a double meaning, because good afternoon is just good afternoon. I don't get it.
Right.
But I am having to be wary of, as I leave court, and as I said, it's my standard greeting, good afternoon, your worships, and then realize, actually, you've got to be careful now, because if one of them's seen this, they might think that's me telling them to, go forth and multiply, using Anglo-Saxon verbiage. So I've got to be very, very careful about that.
That goes up there with rotary defecation hitting the rotary oscillator. Go forth and multiply. I've never heard that. Not in that context. I've heard the term, but I've never heard it be like, they meant go forth and multiply. I've never heard that way.
You've got to be sort of really careful in terms of that. So I have had to think about what I'm saying to them.
That's good.
Court. But they are great. They're both really good.
All right. Steve, what else do you have?
Right. Two more. I'll do two quick ones if that's okay, sort of back to back. So The Matrix Resurrections, I finally got around to seeing in my week off.
Oh, wow.
So I hadn't seen it. I say that. I'd seen about half an hour of it on my iPad and hadn't thought much of it. Didn't like it, thought it was stupid, didn't get it, was just didn't mean anything to me at all. And I like the other three. I'm one of the few people that likes Revolutions and Reloaded Revolutions, especially for a home theater perspective. The dock sequence in Revolutions is fantastic, and for Atmos is incredible. Anyway, so I bought this when it came out. I've been delaying it, and then I finally saw it, and I thought it was all right. I thought it was actually pretty decent. It's not amazing. It doesn't need to be made. It never needed to see the light of day, I would say. You could have easily stuck with the other three and been none the wiser. But having seen it, I did. I enjoyed it, and I'd be lying if I said I wasn't entertained. It was an easy watch.
Yeah.
And I mean, audio wise is decent, solid. Nothing to rival the sequences in the first three. But the video I thought was very nice, razor sharp. Really, it's been shot to within an inch of its life, and clearly proper people. People that made it with an aesthetic to make this look clean and beautifully, dark and light, and the HDR in it is really good, especially the sunset stuff towards the end. Or sunrise, I think it is, isn't it? Looks absolutely beautiful in HDR. So it's a good home theater disc and a decent film. So I was pleased with that. I enjoyed it. You guys have seen it? Got it?
No,
or?
haven't seen it.
Oh, you haven't seen it at all, John?
No, I kind of much like Steve. was scared away from it, I guess, and
Not by
heard,
me.
Yeah, I heard really bad things. I mean, I
Really?
didn't hear anything good about it. So
Yeah,
I enjoyed it.
Yeah,
I love the
very
nods
meta.
to the original. Exactly. It's got a lot of that. I mean, I really enjoyed it. Martin from Nerdy Legion, we had conversations back and forth about it, much like we did about the Batman and how much the different meanings of it and stuff. Very meta, yes. But I really enjoyed it. And the home theater experience I thought was really good. I thought it was, like you said, the sound, there's nothing really to write home about, but that doesn't mean it's bad. It just means it's consistently very good. But it's not like you're like, oh, I remember this. But yes, the picture is better than all the others, because I went back through and watched the others after the fact, and you're like, this is much like Maverick, where you go back and watch Top Gun, and you're like, that doesn't look as good as this one. Same here with the Matrix compared to this one.
I mean, of course, those were shot on film. This was shot in 6 to 8K or whatever it was, and so you can see it. But
Matrix
it was
is
good.
23 years old now. That's
1999. Yeah, crazy. And so for my last one, then I told you I had a lot.
Yep.
But this one could be a lengthy discussion in and of itself, which we won't do because we haven't got time. Well, you might. I haven't. I've got to be up in 6 hours.
Yep, I know.
So Nope is one that again I watched while I was off.
Yeah.
Now I know you've bought this, haven't you, DJ? I think you're trying to talk yourself out of watching this.
Yeah, I own it.
Yeah. Now this is. I mean, I'm spoiler free because it needs to be seen. It is a very unusual movie. Okay. It is unique in every way. It's not particularly narrative cinema, or if it is, it's deliberately chopped and messed around with. So the story's very unusual. I'm not going to give that away. You know, I know you guys actually would like me to because of the strange nature of the trailers and stuff, but I'm not going to give it away. You just need to see it. It's very unusual. Okay. But what should entice you to see it is that it's in variable aspect ratio, shot with IMAX cameras, and there are extended scenes of IMAX sequences of because of the story, the sky and vistas and various other things. And this film cannot be seen in anything other than Dolby Atmos. It has to be seen in that because it's been designed to be seen that way. That the audio in this is part of the film. It's not just an enhancing experience. The audio is a character in this film. So
you had me at hello.
But you've got to see it. It is an Atmos demo disc in terms of what it does and how it does it. It's very deliberately done. And as I said, you might not like the story. You might think this is stupid, or you might just tune out because it is very unusual. And a lot of people on Twitter, after I said I really enjoyed it, were like, I hated it. And I can see why. It's
very polarizing. From what I've seen on the comments. Yeah. People love it or hate it.
Yeah, and what I think you'll get from it'll depend on how you sort of rate M. Night Shyamalan films, some of his earlier work.
Yeah.
So it's more that than Jordan Peele. I think it reminded me of things like Signs. Yeah, movies like that where it's not, there's stuff going on just out of frame that you just can't see that is kind of informing the thing. So it's a very unusual story, but it's a proper home cinema experience. I mean, there is, whatever else you think of the story, it needs to be seen that way. And I was absolutely captivated by it. I was never bored. I mean, I had goosebumps at one point, just shivers running up my spine with one particular sequence where I'm genuinely unnerved and a bit sort of creeped out at what I was seeing. So yeah, it's really well worth seeking out. Whether you'd want to buy it, I don't know, maybe see it first. And I know you've already bought it, but I'm sort of talking more for John now and then for listeners and stuff. So it might be one to rent first if you can and see it, or borrow it, and watch it. But if you respond to it like I did, and I think you both will, because you both got systems that will take advantage of this, then I think you'll be entranced by that, if nothing else. And I think I put in my Twitter review, my mini review, was that this has to be seen in Atmos. It can't be seen any other way, because if you see it another way, you're missing a character in the story. So yeah, it's very strange, very unusual, but absolutely unmissable to at least see what you think of it. So yeah, really, really good. And as I said, that's a podcast in and of itself.
Right.
All right.
Excuse
All
me.
right. I'll do my last two. We'll end on a happy note. This is a happy note here, but my second to last I'll do here is Demolition Man. So after that conversation that that comparison between Total Recall and Demolition Man, I'm like, you know what? I just literally went, boop, boop, grabbed my phone, clicked, bought it, went down and watched it. The videos never looked better. I haven't seen this since probably, do I have the Blu-ray? I don't think so. I think I have the DVD. I know I have the Laserdisc. I haven't seen this in years. And the audio upmixed, it's 5.1, but upmixed, it's relatively amazing. It's kind of, compared to the stuff that comes out today, it's not very good compared to that. But upmixed, it's got really nice bass, a lot of fun, mostly front heavy, right? This is a movie that'll probably never get a 4K, remaster up, with a new audio, but it is a lot of fun. And at 27-minute mark, the music, it's it's the first fight sequence with Wesley Snipes, and the techno music upmixed was really good. It like bounces around the front of your room, and like coming through your overheads, the way the Neural X mixed it. It was like the sounds, like I don't want to imitate it at all, but the sounds were coming from like over your head, the little clunks and beeps and stuff and everything going on. Really, really good. Like you said, the Schwarzenegger library, there's lines like that. And all of the stuff in this, there's the Rambo line that Dennis Leary, he rolls that. Oh, okay, Rambo. So they have that going on. Just a lot of fun. And like I said, that the systems that we have now, if you watch this on Blu-ray and you've got a nice OLED or any big screen that we did not have when this movie came out, when you go to the 1 hour and 10-minute mark and they put on their little headsets and they have sex, and I use quotation fingers, that it's a pretty good home theater experience, I gotta tell you. It's like the sights, the sounds, the scene.
The soft porn.
It's like, I'm like, hey, if you got a 10-second back button and a pause, that's pretty good. Pretty good, gonna tell you. So,
DJ Briggs, you are fined 10 credits for...
I know, I didn't swear. I didn't say anything. But no, in our group, I expect to see some digital codes from the Blu-ray purchases in the next week or so. Oh, Sandra Bullock, I know it was a body double, but looking pretty good in neon. So anyways, we watched that one. And then the other one, my last but not least, holidays. Thank you, everybody. I finally watched Christmas Vacation in the theater through the Kaleidescape, the new 4K master. All right. I learned the last time with Steve. Let's see what happens here. It's actually not that bad. But yeah, Christmas Vacation. It looks good. I'm glad I own it because it's on my Kaleidescape. It's on a tile that'll stay there, but it really isn't anything to write home about. I'll be honest with you. I thought it was crisp. I thought it was nice, but this is a movie that you don't really need it to look and sound great. It's Christmas Vacation. It's hysterical. Right. You still haven't seen it yet, have you, Steve?
No, it's on my list. I'm going to watch it hopefully this week if I can.
He's whispering again because he has no headphones in. It's so funny.
Yeah, can you hear me okay, Steve?
Yeah, yes. We can. No, but we can hear you. But yes, all right. So we have killed Steve's headphones yet again. So then we'll wrap it up from here. I don't even know how long this show has gone. That timer is blocked on me right here, but
past Steve's bedtime, though.
Past Steve's bedtime. It's getting close to John and I's bedtime. It's been a long couple weeks off.
Yeah.
So Thank you, everybody, for listening. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Rate, review, subscribe. You can give me 1 star. Maybe you'll make the yearly, whatever.
Yeah. Make the wall of shame.
Rate, review, subscribe. YouTube, pound. What is it? Pound that like button. What is it? I don't know.
Mash that like button.
Mash the like button. That's what the kids are saying these days.
That's what they say.
That's what they're saying. We'll be back next week for sure. My daughter's getting married this weekend, so I am not guaranteeing that there will be a Takeover Tuesday. If I can schedule one, I will. If not, I think you guys understand because it's going to be a busy weekend. But yeah, thanks everybody. What do we got to do?
Go push play.
Good afternoon.
Happy holidays, everybody.
Hey, Fred. This has been a Hey Fred production with theme music by Jeff Bernhardt and Throne Vault Productions.